Habari ya asubuhi Mr. Mzalendo.
Niko salama salumini kaka.
Mm.
Niambie. Ehe,
Mi niko vizuri.
tunakutana tena.
Tumekutana leo ni Friday. Leo ni Saturday, sorry. Saturday asubuhi tumekutana ili tupige gumzo mtaani.
Mhm.
Otherwise,
Nashukuru.
how have your week been?
Uh, my week has been fantastic. I can't complain. It has
Mm.
been fantastic. It has been a very fast week on my end.
Yeah.
But I've been busy. I've been quite busy this week. Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
That's good to hear. I've also been trying to make some money. Mm.
Yeah. Press up.
We
Press up.
had a few of our people who were very close to us. Some of them were joining campuses, and
Mm-hmm.
it was very hectic, especially um, when they are joining. You know, amount of money that is needed, and But at the end of the day, they've joined the campuses. Now we are waiting for them to see how they are going to perform. So I want to know your view, because there's this issue of especially when it comes to things to deal with the national issues, especially, and I want us to put it in the context of national or patriotism. And this one is of the musician Bahati that promised to give Kenyans 1 million. And today I saw the video, and something that really made me think is that there's a statement that he made, that avoid people who thinks 1 million is much money. Mm. That's a poverty mentality. And remember, this is something that you came out personally to promise the national team players, that we are going to give you I'm going to give you an appreciation. And now it
Mm-hmm.
comes, and he speaks about this, and also how he puts especially the deputy president of Mariga. What is the best way in which to handle this, actually, if you promise something?
I I've been following. I follow up soccer a lot, and
Mm.
having been a player, I think that's a very very good question, uh, especially when it comes to boosting players' morale. Uh, but he and the wife, Diana Marwa,
Mhm.
publicly pledged
Yeah.
to give to the Harambee Stars 1 million uh, if they beat Morocco in Chan 2025. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's been a lot of pressure for him to give out this money. One pressure came from the is it Radio 47 presenter Fred Arocho,
Hmm.
really emphasizing that the singer should respond by giving out the pledge.
Yeah.
Then this evening, I saw Mariga's statement that he can't engage with Bahati anymore because he's not chasing clout. Bahati is simply chasing views and things like that. And
Yeah.
they called it makiki. Yeah, hizo ndio zinaitwa makiki kule Kenya.
Mm.
So Bahati is trying to gain some fame through Harambee Stars, and the captain of Harambee Stars also spoke out that indeed they've waited for that money, but it's not forthcoming, and
Mm.
it seems that Bahati needs that money more than the Stars. I think the government has given Harambee Stars some good money after reaching where they reached in the Chan Championships. So they have told my Bati that we cannot take it anymore. Uh,
Yeah.
just keep your money, and next time when you pledge something, just honor your pledge.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, is making it a childish kind of game that is playing. Is not acting as a gentleman, and this as will of course destroy his reputation because Bati has been a brand for a very long time.
Yeah.
Right now, I think financially he's not doing very well, and there's a lot of show off that he's doing in social media. The other time I saw him flossing with the wife that they're giving the son, I don't know, 100,000 pocket money to go to school. That's completely nonsense. While you represent the kingdom of God, and there are many people out there who cannot even afford a meal. But
Mm-hmm.
here they are flossing, trying to show off. I think their days of reckoning is coming. Yeah.
But
So
that,
for me,
m- m-
I would say that Harambee Stars will not get their money anytime soon, and if they get their money, it will be for publicity purposes.
but like you have to bear in mind this is something that is touching on the national team. It is a national team. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They just like the way the national team's captain put it is he said it very very clear. For them, they were playing for the
For the
national
country.
pride of being Kenyans. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were playing for the nation. They were not
Yes.
playing for anybody else, but they were
Yeah.
playing
For the,
for the country, and for somebody to come up and tell them they are going to give them something. They really appreciate those who have honored their pledges. But this individual, unless he was joking about it, uh, then he shouldn't have uttered anything to do with
yeah.
Arambe Stars. Because when you utter Arambe Stars, like today we are talking about Arambe Stars,
Mm,
of course, people will watch what we are saying about Rambe Stars, and nobody wants to see anything negative right now about
mm,
Rambe Stars, especially when they have done so well and they have brought everybody back to the pitch to support the beautiful game, which is soccer. So, Bahati's actions were actually very insincere, and
mhm,
they are what we call empty promises and clout chasing. So
mhm.
for me, I think he should just shut up,
Yeah.
and nobody wants to hear anymore about the back and forth between him and Mariga. Mariga said that he will not pick Bahati's calls at all because he is not he is not out there for publicity.
Actually, if
If it is, yeah,
if you look at even the life of Mariga, even during the time that he was playing international games, especially when even they played the Champions League, there are people who are very private in their life, even the things that they do. The only time that I feel that Mariga came into limelight, especially when he was vying for Kibera. Um, for Kibera, right? When he was vying for an MP, that's when like people came and
yeah,
interacted with Mariga.
well, yeah. Personally, I always pride myself that we have played. I played against Mariga as a youth. When
Okay.
we were youth, he was playing. When he started his career, he played for Country Bus. Country
Mm,
Bus had a club, and I remember we played at Kenya Technical Institute. I know
mm,
he remembers that game. They scored in the first, I think in the first half. They scored two goals, but we came from behind to beat them 5-2.
mhm. Yeah.
So he remembers that game, and it was very, very crucial because that game was important to them, and but we beat them. and we climbed on top of the league to qualify for the next tier of the league. So for me, I feel Mariga, he has achieved what he wants to achieve in terms of soccer, and being the vice
Mhm.
president of
Y-
FAF, he
Yeah,
cannot stoop so low, picking some stupid phone calls from uh, a wannabe celebrity called Bahati. And in fact, Bahati went further to say that you can even buy a
TV
radio for
TV 47,
is it for this radio 47
Radio
or
47.
radio 47. So I think we should not even engage in that conversation. For me, I think it's very trivial, it's very childish, and
Mhm.
is not worth our time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but but I know, but like this is something that touches on the national team. That's why I was worried. And what kind of like gave me a shock is that avoid people who thinks 1 million is too much or is too much money. That's a poverty mentality. That's a poor person, you know.
Who
And
said
remember,
that?
that's I quote what Bahati said.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You know, look at this guy. This is one person who was a gospel artist. Then he turned into secular music, and that's why Satan brings people like that down. I can tell
Mm,
you, this guy is coming down very rapidly. He's coming down in the like somebody dropping from the escalator. So,
mhm.
and we will meet him at the bottom and
All
remind
right.
him that while you are at the top, you didn't remember where you came from. So sometimes, for Bahati, if you're watching, there's something called respect the journey. Every one
Mhm.
of us you see around, I've got a story to tell, and yours could just be another story. Mine is also a story to tell, and we have a story, sometimes even more powerful on pain and or painful than what you have. But
Okay.
let me tell you, when God puts you up there, respect the person who lifted you from where you are to the on top of where you are today. So from bottom to wherever he is, he needs to acknowledge that journey. The people
Okay.
you meet down here today is disrespecting people who are poor. What about yesterday when he was in that position? He could not afford a meal, and you could see him in his videos crying, and the
Mm.
pain of losing a mother, and being who he is. But today maskini akipata matako lia mbwata,
What?
Waswahili wanasema hivyo, yeah. So wewe saizi zinalia mbwata, lakini eh,
Mm.
heshimu kule utokako. Bila hiyo utarudi pale ulipokuwa, na kutoka hapo itakuwa ni ngumu zaidi.
Okay, sawa sawa, asante. Naona Papa Kolokolo pia amejiunga na sisi, and thank you so much. Today we are is a recap. We do we will look at some of the uh, political antics that took place during the week and give our view as we move. Joseph, how are you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Yeah, how are you doing, brother?
I'm very fine. I'm
Okay,
doing fine.
thank you so much for joining this morning. We just want to just have an overview of what happened during the week, and we will start with the recent one, especially what that happened yesterday. We know there was a 3 day impeachment process that was taking place in the Senate, but uh, before it was like Friday, the Senate, the Senate. Uh, really did their job, and it is the second time that now the Kericho governor has survived the impeachment, and the the yes was 16, and the no's were 25. Those who said no, the MP that said no. But like but there are so many things that I really picked from that. One of the one thing that I really picked is about the digital system of voting. There are so many questions that were asked there. Two, there are also how the members of parliament, members of county assembly, especially, they were interacting and they were answering questions. It was so much interesting. But like, if you look at it keenly, especially Zalenda, would start with you, especially when it comes to impeachment that we've been seeing for this county. Sometimes you find that they do not bring what people want. They're kind of like politically motivated, so they don't get like what they should be, especially when putting accountability and transparency on what they are doing. It's like a political persecution, especially for governors sometimes, you know. So when you look at what happened with the one for Kericho, what are you picking from it? If you look at everything, what are you picking from it?
Um, thank you for that question. And I'm a critic of devolution, and for one reason, I strongly feel that uh, people don't really understand what devolution is and what it is supposed to do to the lives of many Kenyans out there,
Mhm.
and how we came about to have devolved governments. Now, we need to go back to history and understand that devolved governments was as a creation of uh, the many years, the 24 years under Moi's rule, where he used to sideline uh, regions that did not support him. That
Yeah.
is why the opposition insisted on a devolved government. Now, if you had a president who is working for the people and working for the nation, then devolution would be something that we are not talking about, because there would be equity in terms of distribution of resources. So
Mhm.
devolution came about as a political tool to counter the one party system of President Daniel Arap Moi. Now, with the promulgation of the constitution, uh, then a devolution, the fight for to have the county governments controlling their own resources uh, has been very very difficult, because one, these county governments uh, and governors are controlled by political parties, and
Mhm.
in Kenya we have got I would say we have got three major political parties at the moment that are recognized and have got representation in parliament. That is UDA, ODM, and the Wiper Party, and other small parties that either form part of the coalitions. So counties that are controlled by UDA, of course, are controlled by the president by extension.
Mhm.
Counties that are controlled by ODM, of course, are controlled by Raila by extension. If you go to the Senate, the majority of the investigating, the chair is from the Orange Democratic Movement. Very few times you see governors from that political party going to the Senate to answer questions. Uh, Unlike in UDA, we have seen a lot of summons from uh, members of UDA, especially. But at the end of the day, they are exonerated from whatever irregularities and procedures that had happened
Mhm.
in the county to put forward their case, either for impeachment or for prosecution by the DPP. Now, uh, ironically, this case
Kericho.
for Mutai is called Mutai.
Eric Mutai.
Yeah, it's called Mutai. He is accused of misappropriating 85 million in fictitious payments to contractors, mismanaging donor funds, including the National Agricultural I don't know, blah blah, and abuse of office, including illegal dismissal of county or official gross misconduct, such things. Now, these are the things that, uh, for me, they don't meet the threshold to come forth in the Senate to impeach such a person.
Mhm.
So the county assembly, if you are not happy with the governor, they can instigate something. And I want to give you a good example of recently. You saw Nairobi county government trying to impeach uh,
Sakaja.
Sakaja, and
Mhm.
they had collected signatures amounting to almost over 70 signatures that Sakaja must go home. And then what happened? Today, as we speak, Brother Ben, they are on a trip in Mombasa uh, to receive the 3 day per diem, and of course a token from the governor. Then you see them meeting the Right Honorable Prime Minister, the MCAs who wanted to impeach the governor. So that tells you the story that I've in my opening statement about the governors and the connection to the political parties
That
and the
is, yeah.
political, yeah.
Mhm.
So this uh, in politics tunaita kutingisha mti, yeah. I
Mm.
don't know whether you understand that term. Do you
Eh,
understand that term?
unaitingisha hivi alafu zile matunda zenye ziko juu zinaanguka chini unazichukua.
Yeah, so mimi naweza kakustua, hey brother Ben, leo na kuweka ndani, mm?
Mm.
Then unarudi unaniambia mazeni, tafadhali bana,
Mm.
mzalendo, tafadhali usiniweke ndani, shika hii kitu kidogo, hii kitu tutaongea baadaye. No, have we
Mm.
cured the disease? No,
No, we've not.
we have not, because ile kitu ilikuwa inafanya Sakaja ama huyu gavana impichiwe ni amekataa na pesa, unanielewa? Amekataa kupeana pesa,
Mm.
na hii pesa au ma MCA pia wanataka kati yao, na kama yeye anakula na watu wengine au ma MCA wakikasirika watakuimpeach. So ile
Mm.
njaa au ma MCAs wanakuwa nayo, ndio unaona pale wanapelekana na hao magavana mbio mpaka Senate. Ukiona gavana amefika mpaka Senate, ujue ile pesa alikuwa amejaribu kutoa kwa hao ma MCA hakufika bei,
Oh,
unanielewa?
okay.
Hakufika bei,
I,
hakufika bei.
kwa lugha ya mtaa wanasema haijatosha, hii ugali haijatosha mboga.
Hiyo gali iko imetosha mboga. So
Okay.
hiyo ndio maoni yangu, eh,
Mhm.
kwa ukiona hizi ma impeachment zikifanyika,
Mhm.
then ukae kujua ni hivyo.
Sasa okay, asante sana mzalendo, na naona ndugu yangu Joseph pia yuko hapa, yeye pia anataka kusikia maoni yake kuhusu
Na Geoffrey, tunapelekana aje kaka? Hii kofia ni
oh,
inakuwaga ni mimi peke yake ndio nafaa kuvaa hii kofia.
sasa
Wewe Papa
kitu,
Kolokoko na
kitu
wewe
tutafanya.
majina naye anabadilisha usiku na mchana.
Huyu ni
Eh,
mkongo huko.
kidogo utajiita kinyonga. Mm?
Huyu ni mkongo. Sasa Joseph, thank you for joining again this morning. You know, we've just seen the Kericho governor has survived impeachment, and this is for the second time. The first impeachment, actually, it did not take place because they were told to go and do proper investigation and come up with um, uh, with proper allegation to the members of, to the member of to the governor. But now we've always seen, especially if there's something that is going wrong, the impeachment will be initiated. If not initiated, but you will be scared. They will scare you and say, okay, if this is the case, then we are going to impeach you. But are we doing it for accountability and accountability and transparency purposes, or accountability for good governance, or we are doing it to fulfill our political egos?
Yeah, thank you for asking me that question. And I want to say good morning to the viewers.
Yeah.
Niambie mzalendo, mimi sifuati yeye, ninafuata Papa Wemba. Eh, na ninavaa hivyo pia. Nimekuwa mkongole. So
Well,
I have had that question, and the MCAs are just doing what they are mirroring what the senators have been doing and the MPs they have been doing,
mhm,
which is they have been doing corruption on a higher scale. So don't expect MCAs will be lesser of that,
mm,
because if you are going to ask for a governor for money so that you sanitize him, what do you expect the MCAs are going to do?
mhm,
They're just going to be asking for something to eat so that they can be able.
to, mhm.
20
Okay.
minutes for the
All right. Thank you so much. And as we wait for Mr. Joseph, Mzalendo, I hope you had an opportunity, especially to uh, watch the cross examination, especially when both the lawyers from the governor side and the attorneys from the assembly side were especially interviewing the witnesses, and you majority of them, if to say, were members of parliament. Sorry, members of county assembly. And when you listen to how they were reasoning, what does that one point out, especially what is happening in our counties?
It is a sad scenario, Brother Ben. It is a very, very sad scenario.
Mm,
These are individuals who are tasked to control, to oversight over billions of shillings. By the time they end their term,
yeah.
they will have close to 50 billion that they were checking how uh, it it was used by
Yeah.
the counties
Yes.
government.
Mm,
Now, first of all, they cannot even compose a sentence. Yeah, and secondly, they were you could see that they don't even understand the questions, or they were pretending not to understand any of those questions that they were being asked or put forth.
mm,
Uh, and you sympathize with the residents of Kericho, that those are the representatives that have been elected by them. I don't blame them, but I blame our people.
mm,
This kind of scenes is replicated across the country. Across the country, it's not only in Kericho. Kericho is just an eye opener of
mm,
what is happening in the county governments.
yeah.
The county governments are mismanaged. It's called devolved stealing. Yeah, it's called devolved stealing of the county funds. Yeah, that
Mhm.
is how I look at what is happening in the counties. The people who
Yeah.
praise the county governments, yeah,
Yeah.
the people who praise these county governments, either they are in business with the counties, or they are a
Mm,
part of that system. Either they are elected, or they are employed by the county. If you look at the wage bill of these counties, the money that they pay in terms of salaries,
mhm.
and the positions that they have created for their supporters. These are political offices, yeah,
Yeah.
and political offices, you have to appease the masses. Mm.
Mhm.
So devolution created an imbalance in the society. And when I'm talking about an imbalance in society, it created another group of rich villagers, yeah, down there. Mm,
Mhm.
in the village, and another tier of very poor individuals. So
Yeah.
the rich in we used to talk about the national government and the
Mm.
people who are in Nairobi and enjoying our taxes. But today
Yeah.
we have got people who are in the counties who are paid over a million shillings, or sometimes a million or half a
Mm.
million shillings, and they are in the village there. And then we have got other people who are they represent, who can
Yeah.
afford $1 a day, yeah, who can
Mhm.
barely put a meal on the table. So you see this kind of gaps.
Yeah.
Our political system has got gaps between the rich and the poor. And
Mm.
a few years ago we'd talk about the rich being the business community, and the
Mhm.
poor being the people who are unemployed, and the middle class people who are employed, who are in government, who are feeling a bit better than the poor. But here we have a scenario of extremely poor people and extremely rich people in the county who are using the taxes that are supposed to give services to the extremely poor residents,
President, yeah.
i- residents, and the society is happy about it. Interesting, the society is okay with it.
Mm. Mm.
We are okay with it. If you go to your county where you are coming from, today, I am telling you, and you'll be at home very, very recent, very, very soon. The number of VX Prados that you will see in that village, yeah,
Mm.
the amount of fuel that is running across, just people doing nothing. They are from the office, they are going to eat meat, they are going back to the office, they are making some funny errands, personal errands. One is going to the salon, one is going to the barber shop on a weekday, and it is happening in all these counties. I took a statistics of what these vehicles do, and you'll be shocked at the kind of priorities that we have. So
Yes.
the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution was supposed to be transformative,
Mm.
but it has brought a lot of poverty among other people, and some people it has made them rich. These are the people who you tell that hii katiba hii mambo ya devolution tunataka kuitoa, they will kill you. They'll tell you, we unatoa inaenda wapi?
Unaenda
These are
wapi?
the people, yeah, these are the contractors who work within the county government. These are the MPs who are contracted by the county government to provide services. So it is another layer of theft that is happening in our county governments that we need to talk about. And I'm so much against the government, the national government, adding more money to the county government, yet they cannot manage whatever they are being given.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much. And we are coming to discuss about that, and especially we had the Katiba Day the other day, and there were some b- spanners that the Right Honorable Prime Minister was throwing in there during his speech on that day. Let me come to Joseph. Joseph, I was just asking you if you had an opportunity to watch, especially what was taking place at the floor of the House during the cross examination, both from the witness from both from the governor side and both from the county side, and how even the legislators, some of them were MCA, were answering those questions. What came through your mind?
Yeah, sorry, I had a call. Sorry.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was talking about before I left. I was talking about how these MPs and Senate and the national government executive. Let me call it executive. They have shown that these young people they can be able to do deals with money in their county assembly, and that is the simple example they have given to them. And I think they are taking it to heart because when you see somebody going to be impeached, yeah, and is being impeached on grounds that MCAs are bringing malicious grounds, and it means that what they want from the county executive, who is the governor, they
Yeah.
don't want. They want some money from him. They're extorting him. They are blackmailing him,
Mm-hmm.
and that one is the Kenya we have for you today. That
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants to do deals for their gains, for their own personal gains, because they are not doing it for their wards, not constituents. They are not doing it for their wards. So I think that one is something that even if you start saying MCAs, we
Mm-hmm.
cannot bash them because we know even the real culprits. We know them. They are there in the parliament and even in the national government. So
Mm-hmm.
there is nothing big. It is just the trickle down effect. I will not use the bottom up model. I'll use the trickle down effect that is happening to the counties. And to come to the question you have asked, you have asked. Okay, you can go ahead before
Okay, go ahead. No, I'm good.
because I've forgotten the question you had asked when you
Okay,
told me
all right,
you
all
wanted
right.
to answer a question.
Sorry, the question was about like especially there was the interaction session whereby when it come to the digital part, what was when the member of county assembly was asked about the digital, the phone cannot access the WhatsApp, and it was like the analog by like at the end of the day, the way he was answering. Then another one also, like the interaction, when you look at just interaction of what was happening the in the Senate, even from the IT expert and all that, and even on how some of the senators were interacting to this. Do you see we are going to reach a point whereby like when we are doing such like impeachment and we come up the allegations that are being made are proven beyond reasonable doubt, not are politically driven, but like they are issue based, and like say like this is what we are doing.
Yeah, I saw those things, and I saw even one being asked and saying that that is not my voice. That one seems a drunk person,
Yeah,
and he says he does not drink. So I
is that
saw that all
is a
that
Seventh
drama.
Day Adventist guy.
Yeah, I did not watch all of it because nowadays me I don't watch these parliamentaries
Mm,
program and because I
mm.
know these
Eh,
guys they have even made me fed up. But
brother Ben,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. Let me play for you that crazy video. It's down there. Can you play it?
You remember he said he's an SDA. Is he an SDA?
Okay, I never listened very well, and if I can confirm, I thought he said 7th D. So I thought
Okay,
that there is a
anyway.
7th D club in
I,
along the highway when you are going to Nakuru. So I was thinking he was referring to that 7th D.
there's a club called 7 Day.
Yeah, 7th D, I think so.
Okay.
Because as you go along this side.
So listen to that. Yeah.
At the seventh D ni club iko wapi?
Iko along the Nakuru way ama ni wapi?
At the seventh D, at I
Yeah.
thought I thought you were saying what? Seventh D ni club, yeah?
On your ways, if you on your way.
Hebu angalia, huyu ni mtu amesha meza mamilioni ya pesa ya wananchi, anaongea hivyo na kiburi na anajua kuna mahali mnampeleka.
Mm.
So I told you these things are connected. The way I was telling you, political parties are connected to individuals. Raila
Mm-hmm.
Odinga controls ODM. UDA, ukiona governor anaenda kuimpichua UDA, nani ana
Yeah.
control? Who calls the shots? It's William Ruto. Huyu hakuna mahali anaenda. Mm.
Okay, Joseph, continue.
thank you. And I think as Mzalendo has said,
And where is
the,
Mzalendo? Mzalendo, where has he gone to? Mzalendo, come back.
maybe he has. So I was saying, as Mzalendo was saying before, maybe he comes back. I was saying that Mzalendo was saying that ODM, and yeah, that's true. But the problem is we be having cases or instances that because the president or the people who are supporting these guys will not be having fair trial for other people, because maybe if you see somebody who is not supporting the government and is from UDA as a governor and is taken there, is definitely going to be impeached. And maybe even it's not going to be on the grounds that that guy has
Itiwuke
maybe
story.
maybe it will not be on grounds that this guy is has done anything wrong, or he has gobbled up public funds, but it will be on merit that it will be on merit that yeye ni juu ya support serikali or is not supporting the ideas of what they want. So I think some of the governors will be found unfair. Most of them, the trial will be unfair for them, because if you are not, for example, for them who are not supporting the government, it means you will be impeached. Simple like that. You're muted.
Maybe okay, sorry. Going forward, yeah. Going forward, let's say like if it was a political witch hunt or what you may call it, we are going to see another impeachment coming because they usually don't give up. Remember what happened to Kawira Mwangaza? Impeachment
But,
after
but, in, but
impeachment.
in the case of Kawira Mwangaza, she had refused to back the government. She was an independent candidate.
Yeah.
And that was the big issue, because which other impeachment has gone through, has sailed through, apart from the Kawira Mwangaza? The other ones we have seen, all of them, the governors are always at loggerheads with the executive arm. Just go
Mm,
and take an instance of Sonko. Sonko was fighting with Uhuru at that time.
yeah.
He was impeached. He was not even he was impeached. We go and take Waitito. You just go and check these instances of all governors who have been impeached, and see
Yeah.
them. Most of them, they are always having a quarrel with the government. I don't say Mongaza had a quarrel, but Mongaza was not aligning herself well with the UDA until
UDA.
the last minutes is when you saw she wanted to join the camp of UDA. So I think it's okay. Some of them it's fair, but some
Yeah.
of them it tends to be unfair for them. Like
Okay.
this Mutai guy have not had any issues. I hear even from the Kericho people. Maybe they are just on a witch hunt because of the money they have not received. So they're still going to bring another one. If they
Yeah.
if they're going to bring another one.
Okay. Now, Mzalendo, let's step out of the Kericho case. Now, let's talk about the issue that the Right Honorable Prime Minister was talking about. Prime Minister talked about during the Katiba Day about that Kenya is too small to have the 47 counties. That is one of the issues that the Right Honorable Prime Minister talked about. Prime Minister also talked about the issue of constituency development fund, and he said that he's ready to lose popularity. I may not quote him correctly, but he will stand with that. And Prime Minister also talked about creating another tier, the regional tier, especially when it comes to now the devolution. And he was also he also spoke about the referendum. So, what do you think about all those the about the Kenya having 47 counties, and even he was giving example of United States, how the United States has, you know, the states. He talked of Nigeria. He was giving quite examples. So, what is your take? Do you also agree with him on this, especially about the counties that we have, bearing in mind the the Kenyas the Kenya we have? Unmute, Mzalendo, unmute.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for that question, brother Ben. Uh, I said I've been a critic of the devolution, and And I narrated earlier about what I feel that has gone wrong with the devolution. I don't want to repeat myself. For those who didn't listen to me, then they
Mm,
can go back and watch this particular edition. Now, Raila Odinga coming at this time to say that we need 8 or 7 uh, uh, federal kind of states or counties that are governed by at least 7 or 8 governors. Remember, in initially when this chapter of devolution was being written, he was also a critic of the 8 provinces that were being proposed, and
mm,
uh, and he suggested that we should go for what we have at the moment. But I think it is the excitement of time and seeing that each and every particular tribe would get something. Yeah.
mm,
So these 47 counties were were mapped in a way to suit particular regions according to their tribal base. All right.
mm, mm.
So when you go to areas like here, like Machakos, you'll find how many counties does Machakos have? They have Kitui and they have Machakos. Yeah,
Yeah,
they have Kitui and Machakos. Do they have Makueni?
yeah,
Makueni.
yeah. Makweni too in Ukambani.
Yeah. So when you look at how many governors that small region has, they have got 3 governors. Yeah.
3 governors. Yes.
Yeah, 3 governors. When you go to a place like Nyanza, Nyanza, we have Kisi that is bordering Oma Bay, and Migori on the other end, and Nyakach and Kisumu. Uh, Forget about Kisumu for a moment. Let us talk about Kindu Bay, or let us talk about Oma Bay,
Ama
Migori, and
Kisi.
Kisi. Those were traditionally uh, the original provinces that we had, which were called South Nyanza. All right,
Mm. Yeah.
South Nyanza. They were demarcated in a way that governance would be easier and not expensive to the national government. Then we had Kisumu, which was controlled by a provincial administrator, which Raila and the Constitution 2010 were so much against. Uh, Another provincial commissioner of Kisumu. Then there was somebody called Kaguthi. He was the provincial commissioner. He was the PC of Kisumu,
Yeah.
of Nyanza. I think it was
Joseph
Nyanza. I don't know what.
Kagutia.
Yeah, Kaguthia. I don't. How old were you then? Sorry, maybe I'm taking you back when you were
I
still a toddler.
I cannot remember, but like I think like the name. I think like I've read it somewhere. I might
Yeah,
not pronounce the name, but like it is somewhere about Joseph Kagutia, some name like that.
yeah. That was a Kikuyu who was heading the Nyanza province. He was the PC. Yeah. So the Mzungu demarcated this for easier governance of these particular regions. Then Sisi, when we came, we broke them down into tribal units. Yeah, to ensure that Kenya has got 42 tribes, but we ensured that we had 47 counties. Meaning, if you go to the rural areas, each and every area is represented perfectly by a governor. Yeah, if you come from a certain region, then you'll have your own governor. In Ukambani, where Kambas come from, they have at least 3. In Luo Nyanza, we have got 4 of them.
Yeah.
One, two, three, 4. Yeah, We have got four governors in Nyanza, a place where you only need one one governor. So uh, the wage bill,
Hmm.
in terms of how much we pay to the ministers and to the county officials, and the infrastructure that is laid to build these offices for governors in the various counties that the man is a lot. So
Okay.
Raila is right that the constitution right now has reached a point whereby we need to look at its lifespan and its achievement, and see whether it is working, or it is another extortion, a wing by the counties. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Let me just. It was Joseph Kaguthi. Yeah, I think.
yeah, you got his name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Joseph Kaguti.
Joseph Kaguthi. And now, do you do if we say that the Right Honorable Prime Minister now is right, and because like such like conversation, a conversation that we've always talked about, and we say that okay, the political class was so much ahead of us or ahead of Kenyans, especially when the issue of counties and devolved counties were being discussed or were being put into the constitution, because like it was kind of like to reward the loyal. Yeah, we were doing them with something, with a political
Mm.
intention in mind. So we find that all these decisions were reached with 80% of it was about political, but not the service delivery. You know, now the dawn now it has now dawned on us, and we feel like now what we have we cannot maintain, or we are having a challenge with it. So now when we bring the three tier of government, especially now we have the regions, the way will that one do away with the bureaucracy, or that one will increase the bureaucracy? Maybe you can answer, and then Joseph also can come in and weigh with now when you talk about the bureaucracy and the three tier of government and all that, in terms of even like resources.
Uh, you see, historically, um, the roots of what we have right now uh, is called Majimbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Majimbo is another name for devolution. That is true. In 19 when the colonialists were here, they had that Majimbo system uh, that they used to rule, that
Mm.
favored the politically elite, the Wazungus then, yeah, that favored them. Now, when we promulgated the constitution, there was a big push to do away with whatever the Mzungu had, so that we develop systems that work for the people, and are not manipulated by the political class. But unfortunately,
Hmm.
remember, Brother Ben, local governments used to exist before. Even in the Moi era, we had the local government that existed. This is where we had the Kaguthis, the PSs, and the DCs, and all that. So you remember those regional officers that
Hmm.
existed in your area? That was the structure of Majimbo that the Mzungu had left. Yeah. Now, with the party politics,
Yeah.
the politicians felt that these people were being controlled by the central government. You understand where the problem started? Yeah.
Hmm.
These people were being controlled by the central government, but they wanted a system where they can control, elected by a popular majority, and
Yeah.
heads a county, and is is controlled by the political leader or the political party.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that gave birth to devolution.
Yeah.
And the person who wrote the chapter of devolution was the late Dr. Uh,
Odhiambo Mbai.
Odhiambo Mbai.
Mhm.
Is Crispin Odhiambo Mbai. Yeah, Crispin Odhiambo Mbai. He hails from Homa Bay, where I come from. Now, Odhiambo Mbai said, and I will keep on saying this thing, that for the Luo community, it will no longer be a priority to fight very hard for the presidency
Yes.
if we have devolution, because all the resources will now come back
To. Mhm.
to the county governments. That statement, yeah, cost him his life. He was killed because of that, because we had a presidential system where the presidents wielded a lot of power, and they thought that with another branch of power at the county governments, that will be undermining the authority of the presidency. That
Mhm.
gave back to the 47 counties. But remember
Okay.
this devolution that was copy pasted in our constitution is something that is borrowed. You
Mm.
understand? It is borrowed
Yeah.
from a bit of it is borrowed from India, some of it is borrowed from Nigeria, and a chunk of it is borrowed from the American system.
Mhm.
Now, with all this mixture of or cocktail of borrowing, copying, and pasting
Yeah.
uh, into our system, is it really working for our people? Then that is now when we take a look and say that we want now to look at the pros and cons of devolution.
Mhm.
Now, the good, the 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 bad, yeah,
Mhm.
outweighs the good, meaning that our hospitals are even worse with the devolution. Our roads are not being constructed with devolution in place, and there are no services being rendered with the devolution in place, despite the money that is being brought uh, to the devolved units.
Units.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
this decision,
Mhm.
we need to kind of rewrite the constitution. I don't know how that will be done,
Mhm.
uh, but we need to make those uh, bold decisions and say that this thing, even if we do a quantity analysis
Mhm.
of the money that has been spent in a decade in the county government, and try to justify that, okay, this thing has really worked for the people. The only thing that I can say has worked with the devolution is that it has created employment opportunities where there were no employment.
Moment. Yeah. Okay. Now, Joseph, let me come to you, and maybe you can share with us. Um, when we are bringing these tires, we are the third tire. Maybe we are bringing the third tire because maybe we've identified that maybe there is no service delivery, or there's a problem with the service delivery. And that's why we say that, okay, now this is what we want to do, because we want to make sure that it reaches the people. But I ask you about the bureaucracy, and we have challenges with the devolution. One of them being the massive corruption that we are witnessing, yeah, especially in the counties, the misappropriation of funds, yeah, especially like the other day we saw what was happening in Homa Bay. Somebody just spotted a pay slip of people in Homa Bay, where from 3,000 to around a very good year, like massive corruption. You saw also today we had a governor who was being interrogated at the Senate just because he was giving accused of misappropriation of county funds. You know, so by bringing this, do you think it is going to solve the issues that we have, like the corruption, the issues to solve with the service delivery, the issues to solve with even payment of county workers?
Yeah, thank you, Brother Benson. I want to answer that question very easy and say one thing. We Kenyans, we like to run away from problems.
Yeah.
That is what we do.
Mhm.
We run away from problems all the time. Now, because we are saying the 47 did not work, we are saying we bring another, I don't know, 8. So, what are we remedying when we bring the 8? What are we truly remedying if you are going to bring the 8? I think even when you bring the 8, it will be even worse because it means they will need to be provided a budget that is higher because
Yep.
there will be 8 governors and they are and the wide span of the county because it will still be county. It will be wider, so it will mean the national government will be giving them more money because of you know our Kenya politicians, they like to play on our minds so much. In
Mhm.
other hand, they say that the governors are too many. In another part, they say that the MPs are not enough. Do you hear them saying that MPs are not enough? That some areas have people more than 500, 250. So what are you trying to tell us? That now, because we are going to we are going to triple, to scale down from 47 to 8. Does it
Mhm.
mean that we have cured the remedy of corruption? Or what are we doing? And are the services going to be now effective because we have removed the 47 to 8? Then another question I want to ask myself is when we had the when we got the 47 governors,
Yep.
our very own Raila Odinga said that they are going to work,
Mhm.
and it will be very good. The problem is we did not even remove the DC and the PC. Did we remove that system? It was
No,
supposed to be abolished. We were supposed to
abolish.
abolish the PC, the DC, the DO, the chief, the eldermen. We were supposed to remove them. But did we remove them? So how is it possible that you are going to remove 47 governors very easily if we cannot even remove the easier PC, DC, and what have you? So them coming and telling us that we need another referendum, brother, we have been in this route and there is nothing that has been achieved in Kenya. We have been going through routes, saying that the constitution. The problem is not the constitution, brother Benson. The problem, we have individuals who are self-centered.
Mhm.
Because if you take us a county like Muranga, why is it working? Why is the healthcare system working in Muranga? Why
Yeah.
is it working, but in another region is not working? You
Mhm.
need to ask yourself the real questions, not about saying we lower them to 8 governors. If the governor is not working, you need to call him out. Next time, don't give him vote. Tell him we are not going to elect you. We have failed as citizens. There is counties which is working. There is some counties which are working. I've given you an example. Huh? Other
Mhm.
counties are still trying to do their best. We had a governor called for Makueni. What was his name? Kivuda Kibwana.
Kivuga Kibwana.
He did a fantastic job. So why can we say that it is the counties that have the problem in the constitution? It is individuals who have problem. And even us saying we are going to lower them, even you give them 2 governors,
Mhm.
east and west, you give them only 2 governors. If we don't address the corruption issue and the people who have been elected, they are still the same people who
Yep.
have corruption, are tainted with corruption cases, we'll be still getting the same results. There is nothing wrong with the constitution. The constitution is there as a document. The problem is the people who are supposed to implement the constitution. They have failed.
Mhm. Okay. 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 Thank you. And when now you mentioned something like provincial administration, and actually the provincial administration was supposed to be abolished with the new constitution, but we've seen almost we were celebrating 16 years of the constitution, right? Or 15. It is 16
It was
years,
15 years, 15 years.
between 15 to 16. Yet this is an area whereby they know very well that this is it is not supposed to be there. but we still are going ahead to fund them, you know. So, and as you ask, how then will we do away, or how again we are going to do um, with um, with the 47, or even to create the tier? But to me, what I agree with the right honorable prime minister on the issue of that Kenya is way much too small to have 47 counties. Yes, but now, if we say that we are going to introduce another tier, yeah, and we know what how our politics is, how
Brother
even,
Matthew,
yeah,
can I even put you a bit? So who
mhm.
is going to accept their counties to go?
That's another question.
Who will accept their county to go? Which region will accept they are going to lose counties? How? Maybe they say they are going to use the old system, and who will accept? Mkianza kusema that we are going to take Eastern Province, that the central command will be Embu, who will accept?
So that's another. But you know, there's something that always I look at it in the political angle. You know, always I don't know, because like when all these proposals are being made, there's that also the referendum push, yeah. And if you look at the referendum push, there's this the position issue. You know, that thing has always been, you know, the position issue. And the, you know, like how sometimes we say that, okay, because if you look at BBI, let me refresh. When you look at the BBI had so much to offer, but at the executive level or at the leadership level, we were going to have a prime minister, we are going to have official opposition, yeah. Then when you look at NADCO, the NADCO too was suggesting the same, you know. So which means when there's that good that is you're being told like, okay, the 47 counties are way much burden to Kenya right now, but now maybe we need to take it to referendum. But while we be taking it to referendum, we will also have to look at the structure of the leadership that we have. So which means we'll voting on the leadership too.
Is
That's
it
what I,
me?
yeah. If that, because like let's say like we are going for a referendum, and the NADCO report is incorporated in the referendum, including the now we are doing the counties, or we want to create that third tier of governance, and we say that we need to go to referendum. Among other things, that will be the NADCO report. And remember how many we are dealing with. We are talking about NADCO report. That is one. We are talking of 10, 10 committee. Is it 10-member committee that was appointed to investigate the NADCO and give the report. Now again, we are talking of conclave too is here. Remember, we are also now talking about now the counties and the tier of government. That is almost like around 5 things that we are talking about right now. Do you think we will achieve those?
Brother, I don't. It's a very tricky question. I've not seen where we have incorporated these ones and they have worked. So I don't see truly.
Okay.
I don't see them working.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's be on our last because like we've done like an hour. So our last part will be about the politics that we saw, especially Joseph. You can really assist us when you look at especially what happened when the president was hosting, especially members of the Kiambu County. And one of the issues that were proposed was that Kiambu should be isolated from Mount Kenya. So when you look at it, was it because of economic reason? What could have been the reason that made, especially the leaders who were proposing that? Was it economic reasons? What could have, might have informed that narrative?
There is no economic reason. That was just a political reason. And
Yeah.
you know the people who fronted that idea. Did you see the governor of Kiambu there? You never saw
Governor
the
was.
governor of Kiambu. Who was there?
Mhm. No, governor was
He
not
was
there.
not there. The governor was not there. Some members of parliament were not there. The members of parliament who are aligned to the other side of the function, they were not there. So
Mhm.
you cannot come and tell us that you are trying to align Kiambu and we know which stand you have been taking. Then uh, to say it is a political reason. There is also another fight they were trying to do. They were trying to split the east versus the west, and it
Yeah.
did not work. So now I think they have seen that the only play they can put is only that one for for Kiambu. But I don't
Mhm.
think there is a place called Mount Kenya. There is no place called Mount Kenya region. There is no. That
Mhm.
is figurative speech for people. The
Yeah.
only thing we have counties.
Yeah.
Counties which are near central region. That is what I know. Me, I know central region. I don't know Mount Kenya. Mount
Mhm.
Kenya came with them.
Mhm.
So them saying that they are going to come out of Mount Kenya, I don't understand that anymore.
Mhm. But but
So
but
when they
but,
are
but
saying that they are going to remove Kiambu from Mount Kenya region,
Mhm.
maybe they could have said central region. And
Mhm.
for them saying that they have not been advantaged by them being a member of, me, I'll say it's central region. That is a fallacy because you have been having two presidents in power from that region. You have
Mhm.
had the late Kenyatta, one, and we have had the former president Kenyatta, who was a president there. So how can you be saying that your region has not been economically enabled and you have been having two presidents in power? Even the people who are supposed to be complaining that they are supposed to be coming from Nyeri and from Moranga, because Moranga has never had a presidential candidate from there, or the
Yeah.
people from Meru and Embu, only Nyeri and Kiambu. So them say starting to bring this play. This is just a political thing. But I think it will lose momentum just the way they lost momentum with the East versus West. There is nowhere they are heading. If anything that is being fronted by Kimani Ichung'wah, Kimani Ichung'wah in
Mhm.
Mount Kenya just knows dead as Dodo.
Okay, thank you so much. Mzalendo, I hope you also interacted with this news that Kiambu County is not Mount Kenya and they want to isolate it from Mount Kenya, that it stands on its own. I listened to one of the leaders, especially who flouted it because like, it was one of the things that he was mentioning about the population, that Kiambu has the larger population, and that is the reason why we feel like as Kiambu we need to stand alone and taken out of the region. For you, what are you seeing here in terms of what they are pushing for?
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Ben. I think my take on this Kiambu push for independence away from the Mount Kenya region
Mm,
is a strategy to carve out a voting bloc for William Ruto in 2027. That is what Imani Chungwa want to achieve by realigning themselves as uh, an entity. Yeah. So uh, in you as much as there is a population that you cannot ignore in Kiambu,
yeah.
and the kind of revenue. I think Kiambu is the richest county in Kenya. Yeah. So, being the richest county in Kenya, they feel that they have got a say in terms of how they want uh, to govern themselves. But I think largely this is politically motivated because of the party called DCP by Gashagwa. And the people of Kiambu really want to isolate themselves. And if you go deeper
Is it the
into,
people? Is it the people of Kiambu or few leaders from Kiambu? That was also something
you
that.
know, there is the Agikuyu politics in that. As much as you see unity in Kikuyu. They have their own politics. There was a time when before Kibaki became the president. The people of Kiambu said leadership cannot pass River Chania, but Kibaki broke those barriers. Today, there is also a push and pull among the people who come from Moranga. They have not been in a good position, like maybe the vice president or the president, to give it a shot. The only the only person who came very, very close to that was Kenneth Njino Matiba, and after that they have not had any leader who is coming out very, very strongly to challenge power within central province. So you don't look at central province as with what you see, that they have got their inner wars that don't play in the public gallery, but they are wars that are fought silently. That is why you find Wamuchomba can easily align himself with Uhuru Kenyatta and finds it very difficult to be with Rigathi Gachagua. That is why Ndindi Nyoro find it that it is our time silently to command the people of central Kenya. So these are the wars that go in central that you never hear of and you'll never hear of them. But I tell you, those are some of the challenges and some of the opportunities that the political class wants uh, to take advantage of. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And maybe before we wind up, Joseph, Kalonzo Musyoka faced the wrath when he was in touring. Was it Tharaka Nithi, where he was met with young men who were telling him two term, and he had to cut short his tour for the region. Is he ready to face the murky waters? He's been in politics for so long.
Thank you. And I want also to say something on what Brother Mzalendo has said. If you follow the leaders in Kikuyu, you get lost. Don't follow the leaders. If you follow them, you will get lost completely. You see, if you start listening to people like Akina, the Ishongo and the likes, Akina Kangombe, you get lost completely. You don't understand Kikuyu politics. Kikuyu politics does
Oh,
not come from those guys. Those guys, they
What,
can
what,
be there
what
as
about Gashagwa? What about Gashagwa?
he does not have any seat in Mount Kenya. He's not anything. He's not an MP. He's not a MP. His work is he's a jobless person. But if you follow these people who you are saying MPs, you get lost. Mount Kenya politics is very tricky. It's a very tricky affair. You know, they thought we are going to bring this East versus West. They were so shocked. You know, Ruto also does not understand Mount Kenya politics. I think
Mm.
he thought he was a master in Mount Kenya politics, but he found himself outwitted. Mount Kenya politics is very hard. Even the Wazee. You see the Wazee of Kiama, those guys you say they are Wazee of there, they find it very rough often. So you just see it from the ground. The people from
Mm.
the ground, you see them from there. You know that
No,
meeting, I heard about that meeting with
just
Peter.
Papa Kololo Kolo Kolo. There's one thing that I disagree with you about the people on the ground. The people on the ground, they don't just come from they have to they have to have political leaders that they follow. They don't just come and give their declarations. I don't think you give your declaration on what you think. It is the leader that you follow that you feel
Now,
that
there is where you're wrong, Zarendo. As we don't deal politics the way you deal with politics, brother. And let me tell you, as
No,
they say in parliament,
I really
the
want to
minority
give
have
you.
their say, but the majority have their way. And
I
you
have
see the
I
majority
have
have their way.
seen Mount Kenyan people following political leaders. For a fact, they followed they followed Uhuru Kenyatta. They voted for him. Was there any other option? There were options, but
Brother,
they
if you
decided.
don't understand, Mount Kenya people is not that they followed Uhuru Kenyatta. Mount
What did
Kenya
they
people
follow?
wanted to save Uhuru Kenyatta from ICC. That was the issue.
They wanted,
2013 was not all about following Uhuru Kenyatta.
but they didn't
Why
have
did
any
they refuse
option.
him in Why did they
They,
refuse him in 2002 if
because
they
it
were
was
following him?
no
Why
in
did they
2000.
refuse him in 2002 and
In
2027 when
2000,
they told him to sit
let
down?
me give you the answer for 2002. The reason why Uhuru Kenyatta was refused in 2002, first of all, he was too young, brought into politics by Moi. Moi was the one who brought Uhuru Kenyatta, and Moi was the enemy of the Kikuyu then. So that is how he was perceived
And
to
why
be
did they
an
and why
enemy.
did they accept Kibaki they were campaigning, they were all following
Yes,
Matiba and they
because
refused Matiba. They followed Kibaki very easy.
Kibaki resigned from Moi's government. You are
That's
forgetting.
why I'm telling you.
Kibaki,
That's why I'm telling you,
Kibaki.
Zalendo, if you take Mount Kenya politics the way you take it as
No, no,
casual,
no.
you cannot
These are
understand
facts.
it.
These are
You
just
will never
facts.
understand it.
I'm giving you facts. I want you to.
Me, I don't
I
talk
wa-
with facts. I talk with
no.
what is the ground.
I really. I'm arguing from a point of facts. I'm not arguing on hearsays. I want you to tell me the reason why Mount Kenya people followed Kibaki and they left Uhuru Kenyatta. Give me from a point of facts.
Do, do you know you say people followed Moi Kibaki, but that vote was split. You know that?
What?
Uhuru got votes from Mount Kenya and Kibaki got votes from Mount
Because it
Kenya.
comes from Kiambu. I've told you because it comes from Kiambu. The people of
Now,
Kiambu
that's why
have
I'm telling you, now
always
listen to me, brother Mzalendo.
that's the
We
same way.
don't
What?
follow leaders.
Hmm?
We don't follow leaders, brother. Leaders follow us. You have been told this time and again. I don't know when will you understand.
No.
Gashagwa told you he don't follow leaders. Leaders, they are the ones who come to us. And I told you, minority of the people who are the MPs will have their say now. But the majority of the people will have their way. Come the election time is when you know they will have their way. And for 2013, I can tell you clearly, we did it because we wanted to save Uhuru Kenyatta from going to ICC. It's a fact. If you want it, if it's new chumbu na wewe kwako, I'm telling you the
let
truth.
me give you another fact.
Yeah.
If Gashaga was in government today, you would not be talking like this.
And let me tell you, if Gachagua was still in government, Mount Kenya people will not still be following him. They are following
Why?
him because of sympathy.
Give
They
me
are
a
following
reason.
him because of sympathy. Mount Kenya people left Ruto a long time ago, brother.
That is
I
the
left
reason.
him myself personally long
That
time ago, even before Gachagua came.
now that is the reason why I'm telling you you follow your leaders. That is the reason why you have followed Gashagwa because of sympathy. That is the reason you
No, we are not
followed.
following him. You know what he
But
did?
you
He's
just said
speaking
that
what the
you
people
followed
want.
Gashagwa because of
He's
sympathy.
speaking, brother. Let me tell you, if today Gachagua goes back to government, is when you can know
No, he's
Mount
not
Kenya
going
people the
back
real
to
people.
government.
No,
He's in.
listen to what I'm saying. You know, you said we are following them. We are following leaders. I'm telling you, if Gachagua today can go back to government, he can know the real Kikuyu. He can
No,
know them.
no.
He cannot even be having
Gachagua is not going back to government. He's not
and
going
that's
back
why
to
you
government.
asked a very valid question that we follow leaders. I'm trying to show you we don't follow them. And that's why I told
So,
you if Gachagua can go back to government, we cannot follow him.
so what
He's
would
being followed because he's saying what the Kikuyu people want. That's why you hear him talking about Murima. Why you think Gachagua is talking about Murima all the time? He's not
eh,
talking about Kenya.
let me you've answered yourself that uh, Gashagwa, we follow him because of sympathy. You said that those were not my words.
I've not said
Then
about sympathy, brother. Don't put words in my mouth. I've said Gachagua, what Gachagua is experiencing in Mount Kenya is
then you
sympathy from the people because he's talking what the government is
then
not talking.
you also said that you followed Uhuru because of sympathy of
Yeah,
ICC.
yeah, it's true. But we don't
So
follow them because they are good leaders, brother.
were you following sympathy or you are following the leader?
We follow sympathy, we don't follow the leader. That's why I'm telling you. It's not the leader we are following. And let me tell you, you see right now,
I don't understand anything.
what happened to this guy called Kuria?
Moses Kuria.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he came out of the government, but what is
He,
happening to him?
what is up? Did
He,
he have
he,
followers?
who is
Did he
even
have
thinking
followers?
about Moses Kuria? Who
Nobody
is
is
thinking
talking.
about him?
Nobody is talking about him.
Yeah,
Do you
because we
know?
don't follow them.
Do you
Brother,
know
if you
what?
understand,
Uh,
Brother Mzalendo, let me tell you one thing. You
Let
cannot
me
come and talk about Mount Kenya
let me
politics and you don't understand it from inside.
I
let,
I am
let,
understand,
telling you
man.
and I know.
I
I know.
understand Mount Kenya politics so
Mzalendo,
well.
Let me
let
tell
me
you,
ask you.
people say that when Raila is going to be supported by Uhuru, that people are going to support Raila fully. Do you know he was shocked because of what? When they make a decision, they don't go back.
No, you
They
did.
don't follow. They
No,
don't follow you because
no.
you are a president and you're Uhuru
I, I,
Kenyatta.
I think, for Raila, it is something like there's no day that Kikuyus will support Raila Odinga. Never, they will never, ever.
And I'm
Whether it
telling
was
you,
Uhuru
you,
bringing
as
him,
even if Uhuru was supporting another guy, I'm telling you,
and even
as
if
long as you
Raila,
have made your
even if
mind,
Raila was on the ballot alone,
even now, let me
Kikuyus
tell you,
will not participate in that group.
you see, even now, if Ruto becomes a saint and he
Mm.
does everything he can do in Mount Kenya, they can
Mm.
never follow him. Even
Oh,
if he becomes a saint, tuone amefanya miracles, amefufua watu. My friend, I'm telling you, they cannot follow him. That is what I'm telling you. They are fixated in one thing, and the one thing they are fixated in is Ruto is one term. That is their fixation. It's not about Gashagwa or anybody. This thing is bigger than Akina Gashagwa. Who is Gashagwa?
so
Gashagwa was an MP. Brother Benson. Gashagwa is a one-term MP.
Yep, he
so
was
Gashagwa is a
one.
one-term MP. Gashagwa, but
so
he can command Mount Kenya right now because of what? Because he was a one-term MP. You want to mean Akina Didi Nyoro, all of them who are two terms MP. Akina Mwangi wa Iria who are two terms governor. That all of them wamepitwa tu na hii upepo yote. Uhuru Kenyatta who was a two-term
let
president.
let let,
That
let
a
me
one-term MP can come and
let
take over just
Gashagwa,
like that.
you can't put Gashagwa in the same scale with Ndindi Nyoro.
No,
Gashagwa,
but can you put Uhuru and Gachagua in the same scale? Uhuru was a president, for heaven's sake.
Uhuru, the number two in Central right now. Listen and listen carefully. The number two in forget
You
about the
cannot tell me
polls.
to listen carefully. I'm from there. I know the politics of there. I cannot listen to what
Who is
Muzalendo you're trying to
after
give us here.
Uhuru Kenyatta? After Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the number two in Central Kenya politics?
Uhuru even is not a factor in Mount Kenya
I
politics.
am
I'm
asking
telling
you
you,
a
brother.
answer
Even
the
today when he comes and tell us, you see the day when he met with Ruto? You see the day Uhuru met with Ruto and they were taking photo ops when they are walking? Do you know what the people are saying?
Okay, okay, okay.
If
A
you want to
simple,
know
a
the
simple.
really facts of people, I
In
want you
terms
to do
of
one thing.
political
I want
achievement.
you to do one thing, brother Mzalendo.
Mm.
Just go to your channel and put a poll.
On what?
Put a poll on anything about Mount Kenya, about why people. For example, let's say if Gashagwa can go back to government, just go and put a poll
No,
if they
that
can
one,
follow him.
that one I know the answer. So I would
Why?
not.
Why are you saying if you know the answer is
I
no?
know the
Why are you
answer.
coming to tell us that they follow
Such a
leaders?
obvious. That is such a obvious. You
So
give me, give me.
if they could not follow him, why do you say they follow leaders? If Gachagua, it means a leader who is being followed is like Raila Odinga. When he tells these people we are going to government, they go all of them. But a leader who can come and say we are going to government and people say no, you are not being followed. What is following? I'm a
So
brother Benson following in a change. Squeezing meaning that I'm telling you today, if Gachagua goes back to Ruto's government, he'll go at it alone.
I,
That is what
I,
I'm telling
I,
you.
I am telling you that Gashagwa, the stakes are so high that he cannot go to Ruto's government.
Me, I'm not saying I don't
And
care if he can go or not go. That the question is, if Gachagua goes back to government, can Kikuyu people follow him? That is the question. Not about if he can or cannot. If he can, if for example today he wakes
Or,
up, this is politics, brother. People
Mhm,
follow interests. What
mhm.
if
or,
he can go back?
or maybe let me frame it for this for
Let
Joseph.
me.
Do you think like now Mount Kenya has like a kingpin, like somebody that would command uh, the will of the people, like say that okay, today we are going this way, because like the other day I had Moses Kuria telling that okay, the you cannot take that Kiambu from Mount Kenya, and the people of the mountain will vote in the same basket. So when they're going to vote in the
Let me tell you, Brother Benson, you
mm-hmm,
don't need to hear to what Gachagua tells you.
mm-hmm,
Gachagua told you that he cannot tell people what to do.
mm-hmm,
You heard him saying that? What did
mm,
he say? He said that I follow what the people are telling me.
telling me.
Because he understands the politics in Mount Kenya. When you understand the politics in Mount Kenya, you
Mm-hmm.
know that you follow what the people tell you. How many MPs come back to parliament from Mount Kenya, Brother Benson? How many
Very
MPs come back to
the
parliament?
statistics is very few.
Yeah. Why does that happen if we follow leaders? Why do we see these things happening in other constituencies but not in Mount Kenya?
Maybe explain to
And
me.
for
Maybe
example, let me give you an example of this guy who was called this guy. The name is called who? This guy who was budget committee. I'm forgetting his name. He went to Yala. This guy Kanini Kega.
can
Do you know
yes,
Kanini
can,
Kega what he did for his people? Kanini Kega had done not even Kanini Kega. Let me not go to diaspora. Let me talk about Mount Kenya. Do you know how many things that Kanini Kega had done to his people because he was in the budget committee? He had
uh,
done a lot of things, even roads and what. Do you know what happened to him? They paid him back by sending him home. Do you know the MP who is there now in Kieni now? Who is the MP? He's the guy who was burnt down his supermarket. You remember?
yeah.
He even told the truth. He said that they are unpopular in the ground. Why are
But
they
now,
unpopular?
yes, you mentioned that. Can you explain to me, because like when there were when towards the 2027, I mean like 2022 general election, you find that especially Girishi was so much popular on the ground, uh, and actually she fought for UDA. Actually, if to say, Girishi was one of those legislators who really fought to popularize UDA, especially in Kirinyaga, and she did it well. I think also through her media station. I think she had one, but Anwar Guru came, and Anwar Guru took over. What happened?
Yes, that's now you have asked a very good question. You have come to what I was saying. Girishi
Mm,
campaigned for UDA, but in the last minute, there was squabbles between UDA and Girishi was being told that she was not going to be given the ticket. You remember?
mm, yeah.
She was not given the ticket for UDA, and Anne Waiguru was given it. So, if she had done so much work for the people of Kirinyaga, why did they not vote for Girishi?
And I think she went independent.
Yeah, she went independent. They could have voted for her easily. But why did they not vote for her? Because the problem is when these guys are fixated in one thing, they are truly going to vote for that thing. I'm telling you.
Mm,
Even if you come and tell them what. And another person I would like to say about is also this one from Meru. You saw what Meru happened. Meru, we had a governor who was from UDA. There was a governor who was from UDA, but they decided to give their votes to an independent lady. So that's why I come and tell you, that leaders in Mount Kenya, people don't follow leaders as such. You see, like now that
mhm.
Girishi, you can find her even when she comes back to politics. It will be very hard for, and that's why you see when you are a member of parliament in Mount Kenya and you are done with, it's very easy to come. It's very hard to come back. It's
Mm.
very hard. There was an issue about Kawanjiko and Karirijama. You remember
I,
Karirijama, the
I,
by-elections.
yeah, the by-election, and Kariri Njama did well for that area. I can
Yeah,
remember, and
yeah. And
Kawajiko was
Karirijama
not
had done
like
a lot of work for those guys. But do you
and
know they voted for who?
Kawanjiko.
Why? Why did they vote for Kawanjiko? Saying
Now,
he's a single parent. They
at
were fighting with Uhuru Kenyatta at that time. They were
I
fighting with Uhuru Kenyatta because of UD. And UDA won. Do you know UDA won those by-elections?
yeah,
They won so much of the by-election they won
actually
at that time.
Kawanjiku was the first MP of the UDA in the Kenyan Parliament.
Yeah,
If
and
I'm
Uhuru Kenyatta was still the Mount Kenya kingpin at that time, remember. He was the Mount Kenya kingpin at that time.
and
Because he was the president and he was the one with we call the Mudegi. He's called the Mudegi. Even right now, they're saying they have not given the Mudegi. You know, even the Kikuyu say, we don't care about your Mudegi. You can go with your Mudegi. There is a thing for power, they always say. So,
So
uh, Mount Kenya
okay,
people
go ahead.
are very dynamic people, because I've just told Mzalendo, so much of the percentage of
Uh,
MPs that come
me,
back to parliament, they are very few.
I can tell you, I follow politics, my brother, and I know about politics of Mount Kenya. And an example you gave here, which is very interesting, brother Ben. You gave the story of Ngirichi and
And
Waiguru.
Waigoro.
Do you know why Ngirichi lost with? In fact, she lost with very few votes to One Waiguru. Do you know why?
What?
Because the last minute Ngirichi defected from UDA, and
No,
one
no.
oh,
She
He
boss.
did not
defect.
defect.
He did not
They
defect.
did not give
No,
her the vote, the candidacy.
no.
Ruto loves Waigoro. Ruto loves Waigoro
Ruto,
too much.
listen. Who was the candidate for UDA? Who
Let
was
It
me.
was
favored? Listen, who was favored to be the UDA candidate?
It's
Girishi.
Girishi.
Listen, brother Muzalendo. Just go back to where we.
No,
Just go back to that
I
time.
am asking you guys a
Girishi,
simple question.
Girishi. You know
Who
Girishi
was
what they
favored?
told Girishi.
Who was
You know what they
favored?
told. You know what
No,
was cooked,
suppose
Muzalendo.
just wait, just a minute. Suppose
Mm.
Ngirichi who got the UDA ticket, would she have beaten Waiguru? You
Who?
can't answer
Girishi?
that.
Yes,
You
Yes. She could
yes.
have
yeah,
beaten her hands down.
yes.
Why? That's
Why?
the question
Because
now you're answering yourself,
you were
Muzalendo.
because Mount Kenya were following a leader called Ruto. What? Why are you
Yes,
telling us we
now
should
you
follow?
answering your question. Answer your question. You answered your question. They
I
followed
have
Ruto, who is
told
not a
you,
Kikuyu. They
you
followed Ruto, who is
follow.
not a Kikuyu, from Ouru, who is a
You
Kikuyu.
are following. You are following a leader by the name
Let me tell you.
William Ruto and UDA
Listen,
party.
listen, brother Mzaleno. Another thing that you got wrong. People did
What?
not follow Ruto. You know, people did not follow Ruto. You know what they did?
Following UDA
Listen,
party.
listen, I tell you. People did not follow Ruto.
So
People were
which other
people.
party did you vote for?
Listen, I'm trying to explain to you. People did not follow Ruto. What people did, they wanted to punish Uhuru Kenyatta. That was the main core of that game.
That could have been a reason. That whatever it was, that could have
That's
been
why
a
I'm
reason.
telling you, don't
But
say that people followed Ruto. People
but
voted for Ruto. They did not follow
people
him. It's because they
people
had an agenda to do. The agenda was
people
to betray Uhuru Kenyatta, so that they show him that we can have our own say.
Mount Kenya Mount Kenya followed William Ruto's political party called UDA.
So why did they leave him within 2 years
Why
if
did
they
they
were
leave it?
following him very
Because
much? Because
listen,
you cannot leave somebody within 2 years if you're
yeah,
following that same agenda.
Mount
The,
Kenya people left
the,
William Ruto because they feel betrayed by William Ruto. That is it. There's
Now
nothing
that
else.
you're asking the question and you're answering yourself. The Mount Kenya people felt
I've
betrayed
just
by
answered
Uhuru
you.
Kenyatta.
so
They
so
feel
so
betrayed by
so
William Ruto. That is the thing. That is
You know, you
Mzalendo.
have answered yourself in a very,
uh,
Brother
uh,
Benson,
uh, uh,
Mzalendo answered the question very well. He said,
no,
Mount Kenya people followed William Ruto. Do you know William Ruto is not a Kikuyu candidate? William Ruto is
betrayed
not a
means
Mount Kenya
listen.
kingpin.
Betrayed
William
means
Ruto was just a person who came to look for votes from Kalenjin Nation. And
so.
he was not a kingpin, he was nothing.
Okay. How did William Ruto betray Mount Kenya?
Who? How did William Ruto betray Mount Kenya? Do
Mm.
you know? Do you know? I can tell you where we started to fall out with where the
No,
people who voted.
I just want you to give me a quick answer. How did William Ruto
No, I
betray
cannot
Mount?
give you a quick answer because it started with systematic things. I can start
Well,
with you. It started from 2023. And I can start to tell you when Ruto started to tax people of avocados. Do you remember? When people went for a strike about avocados, Brother Benson, they said that you are trying even to tax our avocados. You remember? It did not even start with Rashagwa. It started after the 2023 finance bill that they said even they are going to start taxing people's household about animals and everything. This thing did not start with Rashagwa. It started very long
have you
time
had
ago.
any of those leaders talking about taxation of avocado as the reason why they left Ruto?
Which leaders? Me, I don't understand. What you are talking about? Which leaders? There is no
Uh,
Kikuyu leaders, brother. I'm telling you, most
So
of them are not coming back to that parliament.
let me engage.
Those people you're talking about, most
Let,
of them will not come back.
let me
They will
engage.
not.
Let me engage Mzalendo somewhere here. Mzalendo,
yes.
You talked about Ngirishi, but as far as I can remember, was like if you look at the people who really fought very hard for the UDA, who went even through persecution, Ngirishi is one of them, and they popularized the party in that region. But I can remember because remember there was two factions of during that time. There was the Inua Mama, this Inua Mama. There were those from Orange Side, and Anne Waiguru actually was on the BBI, and she left BBI on the tail end of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Yeah,
Yes.
alikuja
Yes.
na mambo ya kusikiza ground. You know, the first person to say mambo ya kusikiza ground was Anne Waiguru during the
Yes.
Uhuru, and by then, I think that maybe there was even negotiation for Ngirishi to
To
stick
become
with
the
women
senator.
rep to
No,
become
she
the
was
senator.
told to become the senator, Brother Benson. I
Yeah,
remember she was told to become the senator of
and
Kirinyaga.
she did not want.
Ben, yes, I agree with you. But can you please research and find out for me if Ngirichi lost the UDA nominations?
No, she did not lose the UDA
They did not
nomination.
go for the nominations. They did
She
not. She was
she
told to go
realized
for senatorial seats. She refused.
she
She wanted
refused.
for the governorship.
She did not
She
participate.
wanted she wanted to be the governor
Yeah, and they refused to go for the
of
election.
Kirinyaga.
Ruto cannot agree Waigoro and Girishi to go for governorship. She knew. He knew that it will be a split within him. Ruto likes Waigoro. Ruto likes her. Even in 2027, he campaigned for Waigoro. Ruto
So
campaigned for Waigoro
why why
against
why
Mother Karua.
why do you think Ruto likes Waiguru?
I cannot tell you why she likes him, but I know she campaigned. Ruto
Let
campaigned for Waigoro in 2027,
let let
2017. You
let
remember Brother
me
Benson
let,
between
let, let
Mother Karua and Waigoro?
let
I think
me now.
I,
Does that tell you that Waiguru had been in politics way long before that lady Ngirishi, and
no
Waiguru.
Waigoro, even if she was in politics, because like she was working at the treasury, so she had already knew the administration and everything.
Waiguru was a personal assistant to Uhuru Kenyatta way long ago, and they had met William Ruto. They had worked together way long before even Ngirichi came on board. So for William Ruto, having been with Uhuru at ICC and all that, the person who they would really associate with closely is Waiguru. And Waiguru was a good catch because one, Waiguru was somebody who was seen as a very close Uhuru ally. And when she defected to join William Ruto, that was a big plus to William Ruto. Yeah, remember this time
There
round,
was no big plus, Brother Mzalendo, because
it was
already
a big,
Ruto had already taken Kirinyaga.
it was a
But
big
There was
plus.
no big plus there. Waigoro was a loss to her. If she could have gone together with the Jubilee ticket, she could have failed early in the morning. I'm
Zalendo,
telling you.
something that
Do
we
you,
have to agree,
do you
especially
know
in
Muturi? Do you know somebody called Muturi?
Who?
The
But JB
former,
Muturi.
do you know he was the last person to defect to William Ruto's camp?
yes, because
Why?
like from all the
Who?
indications,
JB Muturi? JB
Mm.
Muturi does not have even planning, brother. That guy, do you know even how many members of parliament his party have from Mount Kenya? How many members of parliament does it have?
to
I
me,
He
have
was
asked,
just a
I've
bone
asked
case.
you, do you think
Muturi ilikuwa the sympathy.
Muturi
Muturi was paying sympathy.
has
You
got
know Moturi? Moturi are the guys who like to Moturi understood. He understood the people of Mount Kenya. Moturi now understood. You are not understanding. Moturi now understood that people of Mount Kenya don't follow you because you say you have the Muthegi, and you say that
and,
you are the
and
kingpin. He
you know,
understood that in the last
you
minute.
know,
That is what
you,
Muturi understood.
you,
Now you
you,
are answering your question over
I
and
am not.
over again.
I am
Muturi
telling you. I am
understood.
telling you. They were
Mzale,
following William Ruto.
no, Mzalendo,
Why is he
Mzalendo,
not following William Ruto now, Muturi?
They were following William Ruto. They have left William
Mzalendo.
Ruto because
I,
William
So
Ruto
who was
betrayed.
William Ruto in Mount Kenya? Because I
Who
don't
are
think
you?
he will be
Who
thinking.
are you following?
Okay, to
No,
me,
I'm saying, who was William Ruto at 2022? He was not the Mount Kenya kingpin. He was not a person who was voted for Mount Kenya as an MP. He was not a
Listen,
person voted as Mount Kenya as a governor.
William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta campaigned as a pair in Mount Kenya region.
I'm talking
They
about
were
2022. Leave those
before
stories to say 2017 and 13.
they
2022.
were elected as a pair. Now, and this was a promise. Listen and listen carefully. Kumi yangu kumi yako, ama hiyo kusemwa,
Nani?
ama hiyo kusemwa na Uhuru Kenyatta,
Ilisemwa.
nimalize kumi yangu na nikupatie
Mm.
kumi yako. When William Ruto, when Uhuru Kenyatta brought in Raila Odinga, and Raila Odinga is the enemy of the Kikuyu community, they felt that this was a betrayal, and that is the reason why. That is the main. Wacha mambo hiyo avocado mingi unasema.
but
Mizalendo
now,
answers this question very easily.
now,
He has said
now,
it was a
now,
betrayal. I've been telling you, Kikuyu people, they
now,
vote out of sympathy and emotions. They voted for William Ruto because he was betrayed by
so,
Uhuru Kenyatta. You
so,
answering your questions and you're asking your question and answering them.
so,
They felt betrayed, and that is the same thing
Mzalendo,
they are hearing with Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua is not that because he's a bright politician. It's not that people are following him because he can be able to bring great things in Mount Kenya. They are
So
following him because they are feeling the betrayal that was done to him. That is emotional votes, sympathy
so
votes. I've been talking
so
about that.
why did the people of Mount Kenya vote for Kibaki?
Who, Kibaki?
Mm.
You already answered yourself in the first place. You said it was Moi project.
I
People
needed
wanted
you
Moi
to
to
answer.
go.
You said you vote because of
Do
emotion,
you know? Do you know at
sympathy,
that time? Do you know
and
before we
things
went for
like that.
2022? Do you know before we went
Why
for
don't you?
2002
I
election?
want you to tell me why you
Before
voted
before we
for.
went for 2002 election, you know we were not all together. Kikuyu votes was split. Oh, you don't know that?
So what
It
was
was
the
split in
reason?
the time of Matiba and Kibaki. So it was already split. And that's why you saw Uhuru went with the vote of Kikuyu and Kibaki went with vote for. Do you know where the term came we are going to be voting as a block came from? Where did the term we are going to be voting as a block come from? It
Why?
came from 2027 when they voted for Uhuru to the last man, when you were hearing about the Rakanidi. That is where the term block came from. We were not voting as block, brother. That is where the
You
block came from. And since from then, since
Mzalendo,
from 2007, Kikuyu people have Mount Kenya, not Kikuyu, because you can say Central Region. They have been voting to a
The
man
reason
for the block.
let me give you some background to voting as a block. Voting as a block gives you a bargaining power. It is not like because of the consequences and all that, but it gives you a bargaining power when you vote as a block. When you realize that you are splitting your vote between Matiba and everybody else, you are losing. And that's the reason why the Kikuyu people came together to
No,
vote as a block. There was
no, I
nothing else.
also refuse with you that one. I also refuse with you. You know what happened to Kikuyu people, Benson, in 2007? You know
What
what brought them together? What
yeah,
brought them together is because they were told 42 verses 1. So what you do when you are told 42 verses 1, you try to survive. When you try to survive, you found that's why you hear Moses Kuria always tells you that thing over and over and you don't listen. He told you Mount Kenya people they can fight among us themselves, but when it comes to their survival, Brother Benson, they'll vote together. They'll
you
vote
know,
to the last man
you
because
know the
now,
most
now let me tell you
most
where the other thing issue came. After we voted because of our survival in 2007, they saw that they had the power and the might that they can be able to be bringing to towards a presidential candidate. That's why you saw in 2013. Then another thing happened. 2013, after they saw they had the might, another thing happened. Uhuru went to the Hague. When he went to the Hague, they had that Uhuru, in their hearts, they had that Uhuru had been betrayed. And Kalenjin, they had that Ruto had been betrayed. So that one added fuel to the anger that they came out with in 2013. You
let
know,
me,
after 2013, 2017 was a replica, but not too much. 2013 was about the promise that Uhuru had kept. They said that Kalenjin nation said, let us vote Kikuyu to the man, so that they can continue, so that they can give us the Nini in 2022. Do you know when we reached to 2018, Uhuru brought Raila to the fold. And the Mount Kenya people, they remember that saying. That's why you could hear all the musician Akina, the late the Matthew, talking about kumi yangu kumi yako, because they were feeling betrayed by one Uhuru Kenyatta, the promise that he had made with William Ruto. You know, when you hear somebody saying that Kikuyu people don't like to break the promise, I'm telling you as a fact, Kikuyu people don't like betrayal. That is one thing they hate. And after who did that, they wanted to show him that we can show you
Kikuyu
what we will
community
do.
betrayed Raila Odinga
Okay,
No,
let me
where did they betray him?
in
Where did they betray him?
2007 after Raila lifting Kibaki's hand. Did they betray him or not?
No. Raila did not tell us he lifted Kibaki hand. How do we know? Mount Kenya people voted for Raila to the man.
Maybe you are too young. In 2000, when Kibaki got his accident and became the president of the Republic of Kenya, who said Kibaki Tosha?
Who? You know, that one now comes to a very good question. Who said Kibaki Tosha? Because how many votes were there in the 2002 election?
At
How
how
many
many
votes
votes?
were given to Kibaki? Because I remember it was 3 million and something, 400 and something.
Did
So how
Kibaki
many
win?
votes did the
Did
Kikuyu
Kibaki
people
win
bring
the
to
election?
Kibaki? How many votes did the Kikuyu
Did
people bring to
if
Kibaki?
had Raila not said that, would Kibaki have won?
Who? Kibaki?
Mm.
So had Raila said he's going to follow Uhuru, could they have won with Kanu?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
When people wanted Kanu out? Why did Raila
They
move
would have
out of
won.
Kanu when he was in Kanu? You
Kanu
know,
would have,
Raila was in
Kanu would
Kanu.
have
Raila
easily
was in
won.
Kanu. Raila was in Kanu before we went for
I
2022 elections, 2002
now
elections.
your argument now is becoming you know you are becoming you don't agree with the facts of the argument
You know the
of the
problem I
facts
have
of
with
the
you,
matter.
Mzalendo. I'm trying
Now
to show to open your
I
eyes,
am
but you
trying to
don't want
I'm
to
trying
open
to give
your
you
eyes open.
I have taken you back to give you and I'm talking from a point of knowledge because I have been in politics for a while now, and I've in those elections that you're talking about. I
Mzalendo,
was
you have
even
been in
in charge.
politics, eh?
Listen. If you didn't know, I was even in charge of the elections that in 2007. If you didn't know that, but let me give you a scenario that you don't know. Maybe you are too young to know. In 2007, when Kibaki lost the elections to Raila Odinga, and they agreed on whatever arrangements they had agreed. That was Mukati government. Do you know that was the change of tactics of the Kikuyu community? And what Kibaki brought to the Kikuyu community is what you are talking about right now. Now, the tribalism that is between these ethnicities, the Luo and the Kikuyu community, is just too much. Yeah, it is an ethnic motivated politics that this community practices. And I will not exonerate the Luo community either. These two antagonist tribes have put Kenya into a political situation whereby they tend to think that we dictate where the country wants to go, but they are what the underlining factor of the Kikuyu motivation is ethnic based politics. Ethnic based politics. Now,
Mzalendo,
how did this,
wait.
brother Ben? How
Mhm.
did this come about? The Kikuyu community have not been in politics. When Moi was in power, they were not in politics for 24 years. Moi had kept them away from the main politics. When Kibaki came in, they entrenched themselves in the institutions and in the power B in government. So they made sure that they were in government. Now, up to date, up to date, there is no leader who has worked very hard for the Kikuyu community than Mwai Kibaki. Now, when Uhuru Kenyatta came in, he made sure that the tribalist leader like Kibaki ensured that his people remained in those strategic positions for the longest time. So that is the reason why you see there is this pull and shove, because our politics is ethnic based and it is a tribal based politics.
Okay, Mzalendo, now
That
I
those are
want
the
to.
facts.
Okay, that's the fact. So, my question to you, if you've agreed that our politics is ethnic and tribal based, then at what point do we qualify that I'm not a tribal, yet what we are doing is tribalistic? How do we
You
qualify that this
no,
person is
that
more
that
tribal
that,
than
that,
others?
that is why when I say that uh, the the new tribe in Kenyan politics, the Gen Z,
Mm.
are bringing a fresh breath in our politics.
No,
Now,
let's take away the Gen Z before
mm,
the breath of new Gen Z. I want just to go with the little history that you've given us, and you've mentioned two communities, and you say that maybe during the time of Kibaki it was there, but even in if you listen to the history, it tells you that even Jaramogi Oginga Odinga disagreed with the president. So that's where the Uhuru the Kenyatta one, yeah, that's where the political tension started, yeah, if my
that's where the betrayal started.
yeah, but the betrayal that happened, was it tribal or it was about the issues?
It was about uh, the political model that both uh, these leaders followed. Remember, Jaramogi was a communist,
Yes.
socialist communist,
Hmm.
and Kenyatta aligned himself
Yes.
to the Western power, the Britain and everybody else, the likes of Tom Mboya and everybody else.
Hmm.
Now, even when you look at back at the politics, then
Hmm.
you'll find that uh, they were policy driven, but they were controlled by the West. Just like even today, our politics, yes, we can see it that we are controlling it our ethnic basis, like the kingpins and all that. But at the end of the day, the Mzungu is still controlling us from the background, telling us this is what you need to do. Jaramogi was being controlled by the eastern region. Yeah,
Hmm.
that is Russia and all that. That is why you got the Russia hospital and all those benefits that came. Now, Jaramogi also lifted the people to Russia for education. Tom Mboya did the same, lifting to Canada and the USA. So that competition tells you a lot. Now, when it let me give you an history that you don't know, that is skewed, that people don't want to say the way it is. When Kenyatta was arrested and the Mau Mauas, they just won the war, and the British was telling you now you can form government. What did Jaramogi say? That we cannot form government without our
Kenyatta.
brother
Hmm.
Kenyatta, and he added this rider. Kenyatta is more educated than us all year. So he has to come out so that we can form government. Do you know who was pushing who was pushing Jaramogi to ensure that Kenyatta came and became the president? Do you really know that?
Who
It
was it?
was the Kikuyu elite that pushed Jaramogi. There was no way that the British were going to give Jaramogi power, somebody who was inclined to the east, to the east, and they did not even agree with these
But
social
Mzalendo,
practices.
why are you lying to us? Why are you
And
saying that they could have given Oginga
they
Odinga
there is,
the PM?
now
The
let
person
me
who
ask,
was supposed to become the prime minister was James Geshuru. Why are you confusing us with history?
why are you bringing even James Gishuru in the picture?
He was the one who was supposed to become the prime minister.
I have
He
told
was the
you
chair of
that
KANU.
I have told I'm giving you raw politics, things that you probably don't know. Now, this guy, Tom Mboya, Tom Mboya was a darling of the British, and he was a darling of those whites who were ruling. And he was perceived to be more knowledgeable than anybody else there.
But that is true. You're not perceived, but
No,
from his eloquency.
now why do you think he was not told to form government?
But now, no,
I give you that homework. Enda ufikirie kwa
no,
nini huyu jamaa.
Mzalendo.
Mimi mambo ya historia mzalendo yake mi siwezi kaenda kufuatilia kwa
No,
sababu historia
because
mzalendo naona iendani na yangu kabisa, haipelekani na yangu
you
kabisa.
see
So
the way I don't agree with the Mzalendo
Mm.
is how, like, even bringing in Tom Mboya in, that why did they not give Tom Mboya to be the president? But
Now
now I pretend.
why they
you
were
know,
told
brother Benson, what happened?
why
Because
was a
Mzalendo has talked
socialist?
here
Why
almost
was a
30 minutes.
socialist who was not
Let me talk
even
also Mzalendo. You have talked here 30 minutes. I want to talk about why Kenyatta and Odinga fell out. Kenyatta and Odinga, they fell out because when Kenyatta entered to power, and they started seeing the Kikuyu elites who are there. They started seeing that Kenyatta will become. They started seeing that Odinga can start to disturb Kenyatta. You know what they did? They started to form a certain cocoon who are very powerful people, and they started to lie that Jaramogi Oginga Odinga wanted to take the government from Kenyatta. That is what was being founded by these guys. And they were very dangerous people because
So
they drive that
competition of
narrative.
interest.
Yeah,
Competition of interest.
yeah. They drive that narrative to Kenyatta till Kenyatta it got into his head. Do you know even Kenyatta when Kenyatta the only person he came comfortable with was Moi. Kenyatta even the Gikuyu who were near him, he was not feeling comfortable with them because
What,
he was somebody who was deluded. He was seeing like power will be taken away from him. He was
what,
such a person who, people always praise him and say Kenyatta the founding father. Brother, that guy was such a, I don't know what I can say. He was the Mao, Mao Zedong. Have you read about Mao Zedong? He was the Mao Zedong of Kenya. He was afraid of his power to be taken over. And that's why you see those people who are that cocoon. When Kenyatta died, they tried to rush. They try to rush to change the constitution to try and see how they can stop Moi from ascending to power. They were such a clique that was very dangerous, and that has been there. Even Muzareno saying that they have not been in Moi time. They were in Moi time. They were the
I
one
didn't
who were destabilizing the government.
I didn't
They
say
were
that.
destabilizing the government.
I give
Moi's government
I
has been
gave you that
destabilized,
story
Brother
from
Benson.
I gave you that story from independence that they were there.
okay.
I don't deny with you. We are together in that. There is
I,
some powerful individuals who have been there,
I think
and they tried even to destabilize Moi government. And
the,
even in Uhuru's government, they are still there. Their children are still there. In Kenya Kibaki's government, they were still there. But what happens? What happens with all this? Is I think also Jaramogi, there was a clique of people pushing him to take the mantle. They felt that he was betrayed. That is what they were feeling. So I think on both sides, what I agree with Muzalendo, we have been having a problem between the Kikuyu and the Luo community since we got the independence. That is true. Because some
and,
people
and,
feel
and and where did this, because like as much as what has been said, but like where did this one come from, especially uh, is it because Jaramogi Oginga Odinga resigned, or is it because they disagreed on the interest?
yeah, I no, I think for Jaramogi he wanted a change for Kenya.
Yeah.
But the clique that was there, I don't think even Kenyatta had say. People say that guy was powerful. I think the persons who are holding in the strings, the
Mhm.
ones who are pulling the strings, they were more powerful. Because if you look, just go and look at the history of Kenya. Do you know the people who fought for independence, what happened to them? The people
Majority
like,
of
for example, that guy from Meru, the one who was with big dreads, you remember him? The clique that was near Kenyatta. I've seen even there's one photo between them and Jomo Kenyatta. I think you have seen that picture.
Mhm.
Do you know what happened to those guys? Those guys, they were finished off because Kenyatta had that delusional mind that people want to take his government.
Mm.
They thought even those guys are going to come the way they had the Mau Mau when they take over the government from him. So that guy, I think he was so much sick in the head, because if you look at the things that happened after since then, that
Mm.
is where injustice started.
Okay.
Me, I don't give it to him. Me, I don't give it to that guy, because that is where injustice started, brother. Injustice started with the people who fought for the independence. After
Yeah.
that, we went to the people like Akina Jaramogi who are trying to tell him, you know, when you have ideals and you are trying to show them, then he got a deputy who was a yes sir. You know the yes sir you are saying?
No,
He got a
but
deputy who was a yes sir who came later to become the president. That's why you see Moi said, mimi siendelei na kitu ingine, naendelea na nini? Na Nyayo. Na Nyayo za nani? Because he was a yes sir man. So even if right now we put Kindiki, he's a yes sir man. Tutaterereka na hiyo
okay,
mtiririko.
okay,
Yeah,
Joseph,
so
right?
I think just to sum up that topic, just to add up
Mhm,
what, because there are some things that we need to get into perspective.
mhm.
Now that we are in this topic of Kenyatta, Mboya, and Jaramogi, I said it that uh, w- um, Kenyatta was a capitalist.
Yeah,
He
that.
wanted to he wanted to accumulate as much wealth as he could with his cronies and allies, who are the Kikuyu elite. And Jaramogi was genuine. Jaramogi wanted wealth redistributed among Kenyans.
He was a
You understand?
socialist.
He was
We
a
call it. Yeah.
socialist.
Mm.
Now, and do you know, Brother Ben, that Jaramogi was one of the defenders of Kenyatta? The biggest defender of Kenyatta was Jaramogi, more than any other Kikuyu elite. Now, the person that was favored, and we have said it, was Tom Mboya, because first Tom Mboya controlled the trade unions in Kenya then, and that was a very very big position. And Tom Mboya did not only have support from his ethnic based community, he had got support from all the tribes, the Kikuyu, the big tribes then, Luya, Kikuyu, and Luo. He had got the support. But the Kikuyu elite, again, we come to the Kikuyu business people. The Kikuyu business people feared Tom Mboya. They feared Tom Mboya. That is what led to Tom Mboya's death, because Tom Mboya was seen as the heir apparent after Kenyatta's death. He was the one who was going to be the next president of the Republic of Kenya, and they feared him so much because, one, he was eloquent and he was known all over the world. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that one I
that
agree.
is that is part of our history, that sometimes people don't say what these leaders stood for. Uh, if you look at the life of Jaramogi, Jaramogi's life was simple.
Simple.
Lived. Do you know what he lived in? There's a place in Jerusalem called Odinga, Salem Kule. That house is still there. That house is still there. It was that humble. Even the days of Ford Kenya, he still lived in that house in Jerusalem, next to Jericho. So this guy, been given a chance to be the president of the Republic of Kenya, he would have done a lot of wonders. And look at his age, when he was young, what he did. He made sure that we have that hospital called Russia. Yeah, at that
But
age, at
Mzalendo,
that age, these
I
people
can
were
also ask.
lifting. Yeah, yes.
I can also say it could have been better, or I say it could have been worse, because the countries that followed socialism, brother, you can take a look at those countries and you see how they are at today's world. You see, I don't want to say capitalism is a good way, but I look at those countries like Tanzania, brother. I feel like
No,
if we could have,
you know, Tanzania is sad. It is a sad scenario. That is a very bad example. That it is a shame. You know what is? I was reading today what is happening in Tanzania. In Tanzania, that lady has killed democracy. And you know,
no,
Tanzania brought in multi-party democracy in 1995. So in terms
Li-
of
li- li-
in
li-
terms,
li- Live about bringing democracy in 1995. Tanzania was one of the hope countries that African leaders who were fighting for independence in their country, they used the Tanzania. Look, Mandela used the Tanzania. When you look at all the people like Miguna, people like Chief Justice Emeritus, who Willy Mutunga, those are people who were in Tanzania because, like, it offered most of African leaders hope, a place where they could come and strategize on how they could liberate themselves. But
even
now, what is
Obote.
yeah,
Obote
yeah,
also was one of them.
Obote
Obote.
also, people like Miguna were there, you know. So, what is happening now in Tanzania? I don't know what is happening.
no, Tanzania is a sad scenario. It is something that needs to be talked about.
And
In any opportunity that you get, you need to say something about what is
and,
happening in Tanzania because
and
uh, it is sad. Right now, Tundulusu is facing treason, and they have banned. They listen to this. They have
live
banned.
coverage.
Forget about even live coverage. That's Chama. The Tundulusu party is called Chadema.
Chadema.
Chadema is no longer recognized as a political party in Tanzania.
Mm. And they have
And
banned
So
even major candidates. They have banned them.
yeah,
They have not
can you
shown
imagine imagine such things that now if you are thinking that you are in a multi-party democracy, then look at what is up. And you know, brother Joseph, what is sad is that AU is not saying anything.
what do they want them
SADC
to say?
is not saying anything.
I think is a toothless. I don't think they can do anything.
Now
AU is
Uh,
toothless.
look at the people who are saying. You do you know the people who are talking? The European Union. Then
You know what I'm seeing?
alafu
You know what I'm seeing
munaniambia
in Mzalendo? Mzalendo,
eh,
you know what I'm seeing in the future? I'm seeing a place where African countries are going to be ruled by army people. That is what
hmm?
I'm seeing. Where we are going, tutakuwa tukiruliwa na generals
Wewe huyu jamaa
because of
hu-
of the trend we are taking in Mzalendo. You know these leaders. Eh? Do you know there is a leader in Burkina Faso? Eh? If you hear the story of Burkina Faso and Mali, you feel very that is the same trajectory Tanzania is taking because that guy is becoming a dictator.
but,
That
but
lady has
but
become a dictator, and
but
I think
you know
yeah,
that the difference with Tanzania is this. You find that the how the security apparatus are being used by the political party in power. Um, it's sometimes you sit down and even look at the young people. If you want to know that there's something wrong, especially like you find that young people do not have conversation about the leadership. Everybody ukisikia kila mtu akisimama anasema mimi sisi tuko kwa sababu mama amesema, like they have to mention that name in everything that they say, and that one tells you that things are not things are not things are not good.
you should need to say the word. It is a dictate. It is a monarch. It has become a monarch now. It
Yeah,
is a dictatorship in that country,
you know
and that's why I was telling Mzalendo. I see army people are going to rule the Africa now,
you,
where it
you
is
you
reaching.
you see what is happening in Kenya, and I wrote it somewhere. Sometimes back, I can't remember which month it was. I said that um, you know the army gives you some kind of discipline. When you go to the army, there's a routine of way of doing things, and that's why they are called disciplined forces. But now these people who have who are on top of the ranks, and even when they retire, where do they go to? Where do they go to? Now you will see the consequent elections that are coming. You'll see former commanders in the army what joining politics. Yeah, because I feel that like they can offer something new from the political class that we are used to. Yeah, maybe they bring some kind of discipline and routine that is in the army to manage the affairs of the country. So that can be something that people need to look at, because of, like, in most countries in Europe and America, you'll find that the generals who are decorated, they tend to be good leaders, and that is a standard they check. Hey, have you served for your country? When you serve for your country, there's a way you look at your country. You look at your country first. Yeah, you look at your country first. So when you become a general and you fought for your country, it is very, very different from any other person joining politics. So I look at, let them come join politics, and in the democratic space, and see whether they can serve the people. But because the current crop of politicians are only working for their pockets and not the people of Kenya.
All right.
Yeah.
Mzalendo, thank you so much. And Joseph, thank you so much. I think like we've gone almost 2 hours and some 15 minutes. That's a long time. And on Friday, we will come back here and discuss about what will take place. And from tomorrow, that is a Saturday. Oh, not from today, right now as we speak. I know they will be gathering of politicians, and we will get to know what they're going to say, what they are thinking. But like from me, what I can see, the politics has started. And when these mini polls are going to mini polls, the mini polls that are coming, the results from those mini polls are going to energize so many of politicians, and that is when the politics is going to start. And expect so much. Kuna maneno ambayo itasemwa kwa political trail, kuna maneno ambayo but sisi tuko hapa kuzisema.
Yeah,
So
I did not answer about Kalonzo.
yeah,
You asked me about Kalonzo.
yeah. By
Kalonzo,
the
I
way,
think,
answer then we can close it down.
yeah, Kalonzo, I think Kalonzo has not been a serious person in terms of how he does politics. And him finding himself in a corner yesterday. Ukipatikana kama uko kwa corner na wewe ni politician, what do you do? Because
Soldier on.
yeah, ukipatikana kwa corner unafanya nini as a person who is supposed to be running for presidency? We
Soldier
have
on.
seen Ruto handling this issue. So I think Kalonzo is just a joke. And if he does not up his game, I think nobody will give hand him over the presidency. You are told power is taken, is not given.
And
So
that I think like what Kalonzo should learn something from President William Ruto, especially because President William Ruto, especially what if is a go-getter. Hapo kuendelea yenye mlikuwa unasema ni mbaya, baada atapita na hiyo gari yake itagongwa, lakini
I really love this politics. Mtu anajitoa anasema jaribuni kuiba kura zangu
eh,
mwezi. If you see somebody saying like that, brother, that guy is confident. You
yeah.
know, but you can see Kalonzo now, confidence iko wapi bwana? This
Sasa
guy,
hata ile tu aliambiwa tu two term
and
akasema
I think that's why they are telling Rigathi Gachagua to stand for the presidency. I think wanaona hawa watu ni mchezo bwana.
no.
I think that camp of Vince wanamwambia simame president. They see these guys, they are joking. Even Matiang, go and look Matiang, the one we thought who could have been stronger. Do you see how he's born? So I think his people in his camp are telling him, bwana ya watu wewe simama. Then Gachagua how he articulates. I heard him talking about Mandera, brother. Today I've seen a video. Mandera is like it's been taken by Juba.
Yes, the governor
I've
of
seen a
Mandera
video
said
today and it's
something.
very shocking. I've seen that there is militia from Juba. I even got afraid, brother. If that is our country is taken over.
Yeah,
Sasa
yeah.
Gachagua would have been a very good president, but sasa amekuja wakati mbaya.
But I don't think he's a good president, Mzalendo. I think he's good in saying things that are there. You see
Mm.
President
You see,
Me, I think he's a good person to say.
Gachagua would have hidden his character uh, to an
I
extent.
think in opposition, he could have been very good in the
No,
times we
I
we were
think
having this.
I
I
think he
think
came too early. He came.
no, no,
He started being vocal to mapema sana.
no.
Angenyamaza tu, unajua.
I think what happened with Rigathi Gachagua was this,
Regarding Gachagua is so obvious. It's so predictable. You can know what he's going to do. You see,
and
Ruto. Ruto is not predictable.
and being predictable. That's why President William Ruto insisted on Rigathi Gachagua, because he would predict, especially predicament that would Rigathi Gachagua would fall. Because even during the entire time when they were campaigning, I the only time that I saw President went, especially in the tail end, look, President William Ruto is, love it or you hate him, but there's something that he usually does. During the entire time he started to travel to make this trip to Mount Kenya, he was not very confrontational to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. He was not.
Yeah.
He was not. But at the tail end, when people were just going to vote, few weeks, that's when he said that, we tunakuambia bwana usiue watoto. You see, like ile maneno
But
alisema mambo ya,
Gachagua was confronting Uhuru Kenyatta head on.
but
He was
Gachagua
telling
was
him head on.
daily and daily and daily and daily.
Daily.
And
There's a
so,
day when he told him that sisi we mama yako sijui that guy brother that guy is very me you know me I fear dangerous mouth brother. That guy
yeah,
is a person who can burn the country. Yes, he's going to tell us everything, but me I cannot
But
like him as a president.
you fear him. You
I
no,
fear him. Na
you,
si ndio nakwambia, there's
the
people
more
like me who are feeling
the more you
they
the
fear,
more
they,
you
they
listen
fear.
to him, the more you listen to him, he's not he doesn't appear. You know, Gachagua is very eloquent, and Gachagua has got charisma. That is all is needed in politics. But there's one thing that Gachagua doesn't know. Ajui kuficha white.
yeah. Ambapo if you compare President William Ruto and Gachagua,
No,
you know
President William Ruto has got all those aspects that Gachagua has, but he knows when to speak
even
and
knows when
anajua
to speak
kuficha white.
why. Yeah. So
But do you know Gachagua has changed politics in Kenya? He has really changed them.
Do you
I
know
don't think amebadilisha kabisa.
brother Ben? Do you know
mm,
do you know William Ruto can turn around and tell Raila, you can now go. Mimi sasa mambo yako sasa, mzee wewe, tushamalizana. Mimi let me tell you what can happen now. Wacha ulikuwa umeniambia ati hapo siasa ati William Ruto can go back to Central Province and tell the Central people, you know what, mimi mnajua mimi ni mtu wa kanisa, najua niliwakosea, lakini naomba msamaha. Hata huyu Gachagua tunaweza rudi kufanya naye kazi. That is the end of it. That is the hiyo
That's why I was
statement
telling
peke
you.
yake.
That's why I was telling you, Mzalendo, don't take anything off the
At the
table.
tail end,
You,
at the
you,
tail end of the
you, you know,
politics,
you know
wacha
what
nikwambie
happens. Eh?
siasa,
yeah.
hii siasa, wacha kuweka
One
siasa
thing,
kwa roho.
one thing I know. Unajua kitu moja ninajua.
Siasa inaweka kwa land.
Ruto really misses Gachagua. That is one thing I know. He
Yeah.
definitely misses Gachagua
and
wherever
and
he is.
Ruto
And
and
anapiga
anaotaka ni yeye kila siku.
Ruto, acha nikwambie, Ruto anapiga mahesabu. Akishaona hesabu yake Gachagua ndio anaingiana na hesabu yake. Let me tell you. Hata ni kama ni kumpatia Central Bank nusu watampatia.
Lakini
Wacha
sasa ubaya yake
nimalizia.
sasa Wakikuyu sioni wakifuata Gachagua.
but
Wakikuyu ni pesa rahisi bana. Hiyo ni hesabu rahisi.
this is
Soma hata Kireta amekwambia hapo what I've been trying to tell you.
Calvin Skireta says that they cannot forgive him. They didn't listen to Uhuru.
Yeah, they cannot. Even Gachagua going back to government hawezi msamehe. And Gachagua knows that.
Sasa unaona sasa shida ni mtapigia nani kura?
Nani? Let me tell you, the candidate that apigiwa kura ni ule unajua Gachagua, they are going to sit down with these guys. You know when they come up with a candidate, I'm telling you that is the candidate they are going to vote for. Watapigia your candidate kura to the man.
But
But they might win, they might lose. That one I don't know. Hiyo ni mambo ya 2027.
suppose Gachagua insists that he has to be on the ballot.
That
Now
was
what is another game? But
no.
he said he knows. Sulisikia alisema hataki Ruto ashinde elections, so he said he can even become a kingmaker.
Let me
So
tell you
he's optional for everything.
one thing one thing that but the united opposition should not sit pretty. They should not sit pretty, especially knowing who President William Ruto is
Mimi
in terms of
nakwambia
one
brother Ben,
financial.
sorry,
Mm.
brother Ben,
Yeah.
one last point. And mimi naambiaga kila siku, mimi ndio utabiri siasa ya Kenya na naisemaga vile itakuwa. Ruto only needs Kalonzo Musyoka to win the
Yeah,
presidency.
that is the
That
only
is it.
guy.
Hakuna mtu mwingine, hiyo yote hii ingine anaweza piga kelele.
Kalonzo is the
He only needs Kalonzo. But that's
Kalonzo.
it.
The
But
problem with Ruto, shida ya Ruto mzalendo ni
unaona vile yani, unaona vile watu washaanza kupuuza Kalonzo. And then another thing you also have to know, it is only Kalonzo Musyoka who can be the presidential candidate for now.
No, there's still options in terms of united opposition.
si
No,
Matiang'i is there.
Matiang'i is there because the reason why I feel Kalonzo Musyoka, he can be the president or he cannot be the president.
Matiang'i ako na nini?
No, it's not about, because remember this is what is going to come. Matiang'i ana tuseme kwamba ako na kisi, yeah. But what happens is that, look at it this way: when you look at Rigathi Gachagua, the way he is right now, the mountain favors him, right? So he might bring a block, yeah, as we speak right now. Then come to Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka will bring a block. Those are the only people who can bring blocks.
Hao wengine
they cannot bring blocks.
hawana block. Sasa unaona,
Hawana block.
you work
No,
with
maybe what they can
people.
do, they can split the votes in
Yeah.
terms of maybe like Western.
Yeah,
and
Western will
maybe
be split.
Mm.
So
Maybe
in this election, we have only
Kisi
four
and
people
Nyamira.
who are very crucial. We have Raila Odinga, who has a block. We have, if things stand the way it is, Matiang'i has a block. We have Kalonzo as a block. We have President William Ruto has a block. Only those people.
Now the only
You know the problem is Mzalendo. You know the problem is Kikuyu have shown that they can vote for another president, even not their own person. They can vote. They can come to a man to vote for. So if Matiang'i is fronted, I'm sure renew Matiang'i, they'll vote for Matiang'i.
Matiang'i will.
I'm telling you, they have shown.
you see the problem with Matiang'i, and the way I look at it is that our politics is ethnic based, and the region that he comes from is Kisi. They don't have those numbers. That's one problem. Wait.
But they have around 900,000.
They have that's very little. They have around that's very little.
But to top it up with some votes, it is very good number, no?
That is
900 is a
and
very
then
good number.
ukijua hiyo zitakatwa pale na Ruto, haitakuja ati 900, zitakatwa
Lakini
katwa na
unajua sasa shida yenyu mzalendo ni Ruto naye anaendelea kushika handball kila wakati. Every time is caught offside. Unapatikana kaskando.
unajua
Joseph,
By the time we reach there, kama ataendelea na hizi handball, hiyo wakati ya mwisho watu wakienda election.
siasa ya Kenya is not about policy.
there's what
But
we call,
you know why I say like that, brother Ben. So I'm not saying about. I know it is it is ethically. We are ethically when we go to vote. But do you know there's some people who have not decided? There's always people who are not decided.
Now
Those people who are not decided, they are always they decide about because of the policies that you see.
first the political party that will front Aluya for president will that is the only person that's the only movement that is going to give Ruto a run for his money. If opposition,
what about Natembea, brother Mzalendo? What about Natembea?
You see,
because Natembea is making
the moment Wone Muluya, a presidential candidate, is being supported by Gachagua, is being supported by Kalonzo, and is being supported by which other region? By Matiang'i's Nakisi region. That is it. That is the only factor that inaweza tetemesha.
What about Gen Z? What about Gen Z?
Now, you know, that's where the Gen Z come in. The Gen Z will only support a candidate that is not Gachagua, that is not Kalonzo, that is not Matiang'i.
but
So
like
who they support Boniface Mwangi?
now Boniface Mwangi,
No,
I don't think so.
sijui kama
Because
wanaweza support Boniface Mwangi, but I can tell you they can support Sifuna.
Yeah, Sifuna,
but
Sifuna
Sifuna is
can be
not going. Sifuna alikataa presidential. Wale watu tunajua ni akina nani. Maybe they say we were emeritus Maraga,
yeah, Maraga.
but
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 now,
Sifuna.
Na
Sifuna said he wants the Senate.
Maraga pia despite Maraga unamwona hata juu kuongea, lakini huyo jamaa anaweza pigiwa kura mingi sana kushinda hao
But you have talked about something Mzalendo. You know, you have reminded me this third force. You see the third force inajiita Kenya moja.
no, hiyo
That one.
hakuna. That
Hiyo kitu itacheza play a part, brother Benson, usicheze.
the third post is usually a spoiler.
hiyo
No,
ni
what they'll do,
wewe
you
unajua
know
hii
that post,
sasa
what they'll
wewe
do. That
sikia
post
hii
ni akina nani, Mzalendo? That post ni akina nani? That
hizi
Sasa
post is
unajua
members of parliament.
kina
no
They're
wale
no
members
wa,
of
no
parliament.
wa Mchomba, the Babu Owinos, the
They're
Sifuna,
members of
the
parliament.
young
So they need to lean on somewhere. Or they need to
no
lean on
let me,
somewhere.
let me tell you something.
but wacheni niwaambie, tufunge huu mjadala. Wacheni niwaambie kitu moja, don't trust anybody who is coming from parliament to vie for the presidency.
No, and
Wanaweza kuwa wanatumika na
remember,
mjui.
do you know why sometimes I tend to think the third force
They're just
they
spoilers.
are
Sasa wa Mchomba
they are spoiler.
atashinda wapi?
And this is the way I'm seeing that they are spoiler. One, remember, these are people who are coming from different political parties who in the early years or early days of those political parties, they're not seeing eye to eye. And now they're coming as liberators. And as they come from the liberators, they usually don't want to, their paper trail is still within their majority of them, their paper trail is still within their political parties. Remember, if you listen to what Babu Owino said, that he still respects the ODM.
Bado yeye kwa hiyo shada hataki kutoka hapo.
Ungesema they are still in the motherboard.
Wanajidanganya hapa. Unajua hao watu wasomeni vizuri sana. Hao watu I'm very keen when I listen to these politicians like Sifuna. Then I realize that there is something that is not saying that is so important, and is only appeasing the base. Yani is adhering himself to the young
Let
people.
me ask you a question. Can Sifuna get senatorial seat without ODM?
Yes, he
he
can.
That
can.
is the question I would like to ask.
Yeah, he can.
Because that one I need to know that one.
Atapata
He
hiyo,
can.
atapata.
Unajua kuna mtu aliniambia, mimi nilimwambia mimi Sifuna by the way I'll vote for Sifuna, I'll vote for
Sifuna hiyo
I always ask myself, can he win? Atashinda hiyo election? That was the question he was asking.
You know, watu wanaona Sifuna is say, you know, Sifuna knows how to say the right things at the right time.
Yeah, you see that's but like now for
he knows Baba is not popular. Utaona hiyo kwa mdomo yake. So and he knows he knows Ruto is also not popular. Hautasikia, and he knows that his voting block. You know Sifuna got how many votes in Nairobi? He got over 700,000 votes.
Yeah, he got 800 actually. He got 800 votes.
700 over 700,000 votes. So 700,000 votes.
So and what about this guy Babu Owino? Because if Raila and Ruto they are together, they front Sakaja. What about Babu Owino?
Babu Owino, I have said it a million times. Babu Owino is in the best position to get the young people's votes, but
yeah, he will.
He has got fear. He has got some other fear that you know. Suppose huyu mzee he has got fear of the ODM party, the backlash, because he believes that the people who put him into power is ODM. Yeah, so he cannot go against Baba, and Baba is the one who gave him that platform. So he is still in that
Bubble.
confusion.
Yeah, but not really confusion, but like I think is one person who is still trying to build, you know,
he fears,
he has a
fears
base.
that
Babu Owino has a base. There's a base that he has that you cannot take away from him.
No, he has that base, but that base can easily go away.
No, it's the base that Babu has. He has a very fragile base. His base is very fragile.
Exactly, exactly.
Is a fragile base. Is still a base that is suffocating. It's being suffocated. It doesn't stand still. And they are driven by, they are driven by, let's say, um like, people servant, like that hope is there, that Babu is the person who can give us that pathway, but they're still 50-50, you know unaona.
Hmm.
But he is okay, but his base is still fragile. Yeah, there are people who are still trying to be strong, but he has it. Then another thing also is about the ethnic also plays part in Nairobi, and negotiating of of positions, you know. Because, like, remember, the big boys knows that the way the art of his politics may not allow the big boys to let him go, because, like, he will be very strict, you know. And what that does one mean? But
Hmm.
so far so good is good, but, like, I feel like his base is fragile. Is still a fragile base that is still being suffocated. Political suffocation is still with it, because, like, you remember, the majority of are young people, and the majority of those young people are not employed. So when you bring in political transaction, if you transact, the person will be transacting. If you transact high figures, it will be, can you afford to purchase the crowd, or can you afford to purchase the voters, how to purchase their thinking on how they are going to vote, or not even, like I said, that can you purchase their
Hmm.
driving the driving, the drivers to the votes. Because,
Hmm.
like, in Kenya, what are the things that are driving us to the ballot box? One, you've been given money by the political figure, and that one will go. That is what is going to drive you on the ballot box, right? So, which means, if if you are given money, somebody give you, okay, today people are going to vote, and before the voting day, I give you, like, almost like 50, or what kind of amount, and that is what is going to push you to the ballot box. Will Babu manage that?
Hmm.
Yeah. Then another thing is also the 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 politics of tribe. The tribe also influence the decision making on the ballot box. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So how is he going to deal with his tribe, and the balance of the tribe and everything? Then we have things like, emotions.
Hmm.
How are you going to deal with emotions? So once you know all those driving factors, then you are going to be good. Okay,
You're right.
Mzalendo, thank you so much. We'll meet again on Friday. And nimeona pale rafiki yetu hapa, anaitwa Calvin's Kireta. They can't. Calvin Kireta, asante sana kwa kujiunga na sisi Friday. We are always here on Saturday morning, Kenyan time, so you can always join us. And thank you so much for your time, and may God bless you. And this is Brother Benson. Actually, we were streaming in 2 Africa 24 and Brother Benson. You can subscribe in both of the channels. So when we come live on Friday, then on Saturday, I mean, in the morning, so you can be part of the conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Mzalendo.